Benny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Welcome back to the Zedos Game podcast. It is 137. Joining us is people. Welcome, people. How you doing?
We're all good here.
Yeah.
Take me to your leader.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that eventually at some point. As you can see, everyone seems pleasant. Everyone's happy. Let's get straight into this motherfucker. What's the first thing we're reviewing? It's the Eternals. And so, this is wow. There's a lot of noise coming from one of you guys.
That was Leo. Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah, sorry, I was reaching for my bag. I apologize.
Okay, no worries, mate, no worries. Okay, I've got you back now. Oh, God damn it!
I tell you what, next time I do that, I'll just mute it. But I just had to reach for something real quick. Sorry.
No worries.
I gotta say, this is really clear.
Oh,
as in the voice, the video, everything.
Yeah, I've tried to tighten stuff up on the audio and visual section of it, but then again, it could just be Google.
Except for Sash. Sash just looks like he's fucking filming through a potato.
Sash lives in the 1970s, man. That yellow light's not gone yet. I mean, his room always looks yellow and green for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the normal light, isn't it? And I'm in a blue kind of room, so
regular light.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, back on track. We were about to review the trailer for Eternals. Well, I know what I think about it. Leo, what do you think about it?
I just don't. It's irrelevant to me. It's not the Eternals. It's the irrelevant. I don't care. Like
yeah.
Like the only connection that they just did was like at the end where they're like, oh, now then Steve Rogers and knock out another. Like, who cares? Who cared? Weren't the Eternals supposed to be like that correct?
Oh no, someone's heavy breathing. I can hear every breath of that. Oh yeah, okay, got you.
Who was it? Was it Solomon?
Yeah, it was Solomon.
Yeah, that's me.
Do some sit-ups, bro. Where's the calisthenics? Come on, bro.
No,
You're breathing so deep.
I was stupidly holding the damn thing in my hand.
Yeah, he was holding it.
So weren't the Eternals supposed to be like giant guys stomping into the ground? Isn't that they showed us that in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Apparently, no one knows. I don't know.
Jeez,
Neil would know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I just didn't care. Like, so what we're saying is just to clarify that these motherfuckers have been here the entire time since the beginning of time, and they're immortals. They're eternal. Sorry, and they've been watching human. Like, get the fuck out! I don't care. Fire Kathleen Kennedy. That's what Disney should put their money into. Like, I know she's not Marvel, but just fire her anyway. just take the money that you spent on this dog pile piece of shit movie. That's going to be the Eternals. Like, listen, I might swallow my words because I feel the same way about Batman. Like, that film looks atrocious. So like, I just don't care enough about like these comic book films. I'm starting to get my like, I've been saying this for years now. Like, my fatigue on these movies is like reached its breaking point. Yeah. And I feel the same way about the rest of the films. The genre of movies that we're watching these now, they're like, oh, okay, well, John Wick was really good, so let's make a fucking John Wick style movie. And like, before we
get to that, because I know which trailer you're talking about. Before we get to that, just to clarify, you have no idea what the Eternals is.
No.
Yeah. I feel the same.
There's been no build-up. There's been nothing. Like, nobody knows. And it's like, it's almost as if they're trying to, like, go for, like, we're going to do what we did with Guardians and just going to drop it and you're going to love it. And I'm like, Sash said something to me yesterday, which was like, they had the plant growing guy. And I'm like, yeah, 100%, right? It's like, just feels like fucking Guardians. Like, I like Guardians because it was quirky enough, but there's nothing about these dudes that is quirky. I'm like, we have an Indian guy on steroids, we've got Angelina Jolie, the English guy that was in Game of Thrones, and the only dude I give a shit about, to be honest with you, is the guy from fucking the big fucking Korean dude, Sang-yok. I think his name is.
I know you're talking about.
He was in like The Devil, the Cop, and the Gangster, and then he was in a film called The Cop, the Devil, and the Cop, the Gangster, and the Devil, and he was in Train to Busan.
Right, yeah.
That guy, I like him just as an actor. I think he's pretty good. So if anybody I give a shit about is him, I don't care about Angelina Jolie. She's irrelevant to me as an actress. I think her time peaked. She's passed.
Well, clearly not. I mean, because she's in a $200 million film.
Yeah. So.
Well, look, she's valuable to someone.
Yeah. No, I get that. But they also put idiots in those movies too. Remember Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard. Who? I love the way you say, remember Terrence Howard like he's dead.
Is he not dead to you? He's dead to me. I don't know what that was. The Flow, some other things that nobody cared about.
Right.
He's an Empire, right?
He's an Empire.
I've never watched that show.
Good show.
Didn't appeal to me whatsoever. It's like that and Power just seem too similar to me.
So Empire to me is like Dynasty for black people.
Dynasty, geez, you're going back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that is bad.
It's not a good show. It really isn't. It's not a good show.
Not as bad as that other show, was it Dallas, where it all just ended up being one dream?
Oh,
is it?
Yeah. No. I know what he's talking about. But
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Dallas. Yeah.
And a guy walks
with
out
Patrick
the shower
Duffy.
at the end. That guy walks out the shower at the end, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it was just one big long dream." Like, get the fuck out. That's got to be like building someone up and then doing like quantum leap style. I'm like, oh, just FYI, guys, Sam never made it home. Ooh, sorry for wasting 5 seasons of your life.
To be honest, I think that's genius. You just wasted how many years watching this, and it's all a dream.
Yeah, but it's quantum leap, bro. Quantum leap.
No, don't talk about quantum leap. I'm talking about Dallas.
Right, yeah. Anyway, that's my input on the Eternals. Anyway,
okay. So jumping on top of that, my reaction to the trailer was okay. Imagery, voiceover. Some people with superpowers. Don't know who any of these people are. It didn't. I've seen all of this before. It's very cookie cutter. Having worked for a trailer company, a post-production company, we made a lot of trailers, and you start to see what's good and bad. You start to see what's cookie cutter and what's just bad, and what is good. And so for me, I put other trailers side by side. Like, for instance, the first time you saw the Matrix trailer, didn't know who the Wachowskis were, didn't know what the film was about, but by the end of the trailer, you want to go see it. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that for the Eternals. I don't know.
You're telling me you didn't know who the Wachowskis were? You didn't rub your hand on your willy to make that small, nice feeling watching Bound on Channel 5?
I didn't even know what Bound was until after the Matrix came out.
Yeah, same. Like most people.
Yeah,
same.
And so
no, I actually didn't know. I'm just making more of a pre-teen masturbatory joke.
Yeah, I got it. I didn't know what Bound was. For me, and the marks of a great trailer is that by the end of it, you want to go see it. I by the end of this trailer, I just wanted to get something to eat. I didn't think about it again, and. I'm sure. I'm sure it's good. The content of the film is probably good, but this fails as it failed as a trailer. It failed to do what it's supposed to do as a trailer. For everyone else that is super woke or feels that it speaks to them in a particular way, tell me what part you're looking forward to in the film if you know any of the characters. If you can do that, then you win this argument. But I don't care, and I don't know, and I don't want to know right at this point. So the way you just capsulated that last bit where you were like
just went and got something to eat afterwards. I was like, when Sash sent me the link of this and he didn't put the Eternals on the list, I was like, well, I guess I gotta watch the Eternals just in case. And I watched it, and it just felt like a chore. Like I didn't rush. I didn't get the rush that I wanted to watch that. Like I wanted to watch the fucking trailer for Avengers. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't. There's no sense of urgency anymore, because you are right, bro. It is cookie cutter. Like it's just some more bullshit that we're gonna fucking pad out. Like how, and this is a question either for this podcast or another podcast. But like, when is the bubble gonna burst? You know,
I don't.
Like that's what I mean. Don't answer that question now, but just have a think about it. Like, when do you think this bubble is gonna really properly burst? Where like Hollywood's gonna have fatigue with this like fucking, because we did it once kind of already, where we kind of like plowed out all those like, well, actually we've done it twice, because we did it with like the Captain Americans and the Fantastic Four shit back in the day in like the 80s, and then we redid it again with like the Hulk and Spider-Man and X-Men, and it kind of fatigued a little bit, and now and like Daredevil kind of was the breaking point. Was it? Would you say, Sam? Daredevil was the breaking point?
No, I wouldn't say that. I agree with your second analogy. Your first analogy, not really relevant to the UK, because Captain America and all those Marvel films of the 80s, they never came out in US cinemas. Sorry, in UK cinemas at all. They went straight to rental. They all went straight to rental, because to be honest, growing up as a kid in the 80s, for me, the only big superhero film was Tim Burton's Batman. That's all we got out here in England, and before that, the Superman movies. DC basically ran the show out here. Marvel was that straight to video kind of thing, back then. I never heard.
Funny how it switched, right? Marvel.
Oh yeah, totally.
Marvel was the king of TV shows, and then they sold. I think they sold Marvel to. Well, they sold part of Marvel to Toy Biz, and then started selling off their movie rights, and that's how Spider-Man and X-Men came along.
No. Toy Biz bought Marvel in general. Okay. And because they're a toy company, because they know about toys, their first initiative was to make cartoons out of them. That's why we got the 90s cartoons and all of that. And then after they were successful, they were like, right, we got to make movies out of these. And that's what, even though they owned Marvel Toy Biz, like they didn't, they only kept the Toy Biz brand for the toys, They kept the Marvel name separate because Marvel's a bigger brand, right? So basically they just started selling their rights across Hollywood in the, 80s and 90s and stuff, and making all these crappy films. And then Blade came and changed the game. You know what I mean? In the early 2000s, you could badmouth Daredevil and all these misfires that they had in the early 2000s, but at the same time, those films were good for the Marvel brand in general, because I think around that time that really cemented what Marvel as a brand could do in cinemas, if that makes sense, for all their successes and failures during that point. I know this is a completely different tangent off of the trailer, but you want some context into what I thought regarding the movies prior. I think Marvel as a cinematic brand has only really had one trial and error failure, and that is of the early 2000s, where they were just finding their way, and then they decided and did the smarter move of investing in themselves and building up Marvel Studios. So but yeah, that's the tangent. In terms
I'm curious if the one person I would love to have been in that era would have been Avi Arad. Because that guy, I'm like literally Googling his net worth right now, because of how his name as a producer is literally on everything. He's a fucking billionaire. This guy.
He is. He's the guy, man. He's the guy. As much as he's been bad for the brand, he's also the guy that gave us those 90s cartoons and all of this shit. Yeah. So I'm not saying that. You got to understand, like, he gets a lot of hate, and I get it. I get why, and rightfully so to a degree, because quite clearly you got to understand, he was a guy that just did his job. You know what I mean? He did the job that he was paid for, which was to make the brand successful. He lacked the foresight in turning it into the MCU. But then you've got to understand, he was making a lot of money himself by having them at separate studios. You know what I mean? Which is why he's doing the stuff he's doing at Sony with Venom and stuff, you know, because he wants his money. You know what I mean? Like, the minute you start
Speaking of, I do love how Disney low-key removed that Spider-Man off the Spider-Man animated TV series off their thing, and I don't really know. But, like, they're saying it's going to be back, but I don't know why it's gone.
Which, what's that?
Disney removed the animated TV series off their Spider-Man. No, the Spider-Man animated series, the 1994.
Right.
They removed it off the streaming service. They still got X-Men on there, but they removed Spider-Man. And people started noticing it and were like, well, hold on a minute, where's that gone? And they were like, oh, it'll be back, but we're just doing some things to it.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are.
What are you going to do to it? Like, leave it alone. It's perfection.
Look, let me. I need to jump in here. Everything that goes onto a streaming site now it's either going to change. Do you remember what ITV used to do? Do you remember the ITV version of RoboCop?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, so I ain't got time for this baloney. Do you remember? I remember they used to censor everything, every gunshot, everything.
So that Spider-Man TV show censored already. Like, one of the things is, like, you never actually see Spider-Man punch anybody in that show.
That's so true. That's so true.
You don't see him punch anyone. Nobody has any guns.
Yeah.
Sash, I've got them all too. I've got them in single DVD format and the whole thing. Do you know which one is the most rarest one to get hold of? Is I think it's season 4. It's possibly one of the most expensive seasons to buy of that show on DVD.
I got all 5 seasons as a DVD box set done in comic book form.
Damn.
I got it for Christmas from my brother, and like in the comic book form, it actually does all the the episodes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
nice. Where did you get that from?
My brother bought it for me for one Christmas, like years ago, like literally years ago. So yeah, good.
Really cool, actually. That's really cool.
So, but anyway, back to what I feel about Eternals. Simon's heard me say this already. Okay, I do a big spiel on it on creative control, so I'm trying to condense it and not sound too like preachy, etc., and redundant. But yeah, take Marvel Studios' name out of the equation, and what film is it? Nothing. You know what I mean? It's not. As far as teaser trailers go, doesn't really do anything. There was a comparison I think Ken made to say that June was equally as bad a trailer unless you knew about the material. But at the same time, like when I look at the June trailer, first thing I'm like is, yo, it's got Oscar Isaac in it. Oh, Timothy Chalamet, he's throughout this trailer because obviously he's the main character, and it's like he's an upcoming guy that like young girls like. You know what I mean? And you've got him, you got Oscar Isaac, then all of a sudden you got like what's his name? Aquaman rolls in there.
By the way, sorry to interrupt you. If my screen goes black, that's literally because I'm about to eat something.
Okay,
I don't want it on your screen. But I am listening. I'm actively involved. If you address me, I will address you back. But just give me 2 minutes. But you crack on.
Yeah, so Joker. So basically, Aquaman shows up. Dave Bautista's in there. I can name you who's in this trailer, and even though we've got like the Game of Thrones, half the Game of Thrones cast in this movie, and we got Angelina Jolie and that, this trailer, the visuals went by so quick. The only person I caught was Angelina Jolie, until people had a bigger discussion. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking Jon Snow is in that thing right at the end, and you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff I missed in that trailer because, quite frankly, it was a boring as fuck trailer that didn't really tell me anything about what they were or who they were or anything. The job of a teaser trailer or a trailer is to market it to the mass audience.
See the Matrix, see episode 1.
Yeah, see a bunch of trailers. So, as much as I'd like to argue the Dune trailer, I admit, the Dune trailer wasn't that great if you weren't a fan of the source material like me. But I would counter-argue that at least it had all these big names where you're like, sci-fi epic with these guys and Aquaman. You know what I mean? Like, you've got all the hottest stars in there where it's like, oh, okay. Whereas this thing, we got Plant Bloke, Fast Guy, Bollywood Dude, Sword Woman, and guy that thinks he's the new Cap 2. Cap 2.0 at the end. That I can't name a character. I can't name an event in the movie that I think is going to be badass. The only thing I got to go on is Marvel Studios. And don't get me wrong, Marvel's in a great place here because they're literally, this is something I used to joke about, okay? And all they have to do is just show their Marvel Studios banner and it's $1 billion movie. And I'm pretty sure this will be $1 billion movie because people want the next Marvel fix and they don't care what it is. But I'm just talking about the trailer itself. And the trailer itself sucks balls.
Yeah,
I'm sure the movie will be great. I'm sure I'll love it because it's about whoever they are. I mean, I have no clue who they are, but you know what I mean. I can't blindly say that I'm excited for it, other than the Marvel branding. If we released the same trailer, took out Marvel Studios out of the whole thing, and showed it to people wouldn't have this reaction. You know what I mean? They would be like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I agree with you there.
Go on, Sol.
Well, I was going to say, I not only agree with you, let me put it this way. I screencasted that trailer off my phone onto my TV, walked literally 2 feet away just to grab a glass of water, came back, thought, all right, when is this ad going to end? Then saw Julie's face. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this has actually started. Rewound it again, started watching it again, and then watched the whole thing. And yeah, I no clue what anything is, really. I'm not a big Marvel comic book reader, so everything needs to be introduced to me. So as a teaser, it should have teased me, right? That's the term, right?
Yeah.
Nothing of that exists in the whole thing. I have no idea if there's any problem. There's a narration on top, like, over it, what it calls speaking voice going, we never helped, but we will now. Help with what? Well, what's going on? I mean, it seems like they know of all the Avengers and they're sort of taking care of everything, right? So what are they doing there? Why are they there? I mean, none of that shit is actually covered in any of that thing. I mean, even a small inkling of telling us where they came from, or at least their damn names, man. The characters could have easily, referred to each other by their name, right? None of that. So, yeah, I agree with you completely. You take the Marvel banner off, you wouldn't even know if it was a trailer, man. It could just simply feel like one of those small little ads between the movie, between videos you can watch. That's it.
Yeah. Do you know what makes me feel good is that apparently, according to Joe, given his expertise, I can apparently make trailers better than this.
Well,
yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Good.
You can. You've proved it. And the best thing about that statement, though, Leo, I've seen your stuff, and I praised you, and you were like, "You're mocking me, aren't you?" I totally 100% wasn't.
I said the same thing to Joe when Joe said the same thing to me. He was like, "Dude, you could do trailers for Shudder or something."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah. So
I know someone who does trailers for Shudder, and
yeah, and I did that on an iPad with iMovies.
That's pretty good.
There you go. That's okay. So, yeah, I don't want to. I'll let you guys talk because I'm going to go into a different thing here. So, what else? What you guys were you going to say, Sol?
Oh, nothing. I was just going to say that I've seen his graphic work and it's pretty fucking good. I mean, you could have put that in front of the fucking trailer. It would have been a lot more entertaining. I saw you choose something. You sent me you put it on the group thing like months ago when he used to put messages on there. I haven't seen you in creative control in a long time.
You know I left, right?
Yeah, I know you left.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that you did put something on there. You choose something, didn't you?
I'm always drawing something.
Yeah, exactly. You drew something. And that was really good.
I'm always making lists.
Go to if you just do it while you're listening to one of us talk.
Yeah.
Go to my IG, which is Mr. MR.
Yeah.
And then it's underscore Ovaltine Jenkins.
Yeah.
Ovaltine Jenkins.
Ovaltine Jenkins. Oh yeah. Oh wait a minute. I think I actually have you.
Yeah, I think I finished something. I think yesterday was it? I was yesterday day I was off. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I did something yesterday.
Cool.
And I was bored, so I just decided to draw something, finished it, and was whatever. Anyway, go on.
Oh yeah, go on, Joe.
Well, look, we spent a lot of time talking about the Eternals. Bottom line is the trailer wasn't good. If you want to like mediocre trailers, that's fine. Maybe you haven't seen any trailers before, but this is this is not a good trailer, and I don't care who thinks. Look, you're justified to your opinion, and that's that. But in terms of the higher echelon, this is a lower echelon trailer. Moving on, the next trailer we'll be reviewing is the Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife, and this to me, it feels like it has its moments, but it's probably. The only reason I will watch it is because of Sam Jackson, really. What are you doing, man?
I'm advertising the men-flavoured sugar-free water.
Fair enough. I think that's Volvic. Is it Volvic? I don't know. Anyway, Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife. Again, I would say it's a cookie-cutter trailer. It's what you
far better than the Eternals, though.
It is, because one, I know they established plot, they establish who the characters are, and I know what the situation is. By the end of it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, it's fine. It's again, it's standard, but it makes sense. It's coherent. Other than that, I'll probably watch this for Sam Jackson. I didn't particularly like the original Hitman Bodyguard, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I think the exact same as you, Joe. It was an entertaining enough trailer. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the first one, but reason being is that I just felt it looked very cheap, like very blue screeny, and just yeah, I don't know, but there was just something off with it, for me personally. But I did think this trailer was entertaining enough. I did like their chemistry, so hopefully it'll be a better sequel. But yeah, I'm willing to give it a go, guys.
Yeah. What about you, Sol?
Yeah, Sol. Yeah, go for it.
Well, actually, I like the first one because I'm a big fan of the first one. The trailer.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Don't worry about it. I know it was the same sort of a deal, like the John Wick sort of a deal, in the sense that the people who made it, I think it was their first film or first bigger film. It didn't have a big budget. It was done in Europe to make it cheaper. Blue screeny, I'm not sure, because they did all the stunts and all that thing in real.
Oh, I was talking about stuff like when Salma Hayek's in jail.
Oh, yeah,
was blatantly not like a set. That was blatantly, here's some green screen.
Yeah.
We're gonna superimpose you in, and the lighting was well off of her. She was lit completely wrong for what they were going for, and I noticed that while I was watching it, and I was just
that's
like,
because
wow.
they had it in front of a window, and it kept on doing that,
Yeah.
So you have two opposing lights coming, which is really funny. But anyway, I watched the trailer. It kind of fell short in my eyes, but I'm hoping the movie's better. That's what I'm hoping. But because of all the characters that are established and everything, I'm going to give it a bigger chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leo, what did you make?
Yeah. So it was nice to see Antonio Banderas reunited
with Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
We need the sequel to that movie.
Did we get a sequel to that movie?
They did a sequel to that movie.
We need more.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
We need more sequels to that movie. I fucking love Desperado. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest action movies ever made in my eyes, and I don't even care about the weak ass ending. You know what? The last gunfight was so fucking entertaining and great. It's just like it was chef's kiss, and probably Robert Rodriguez's fucking greatest movie, I think, of all time. Like, literally, I fucking love that movie.
I think you're forgetting about Spy Kids 2, sir. Because Spy Kids 2 is a masterpiece. And
it is in its own right. I mean,
technically, doesn't it fall into the universe now?
Yeah, it does. It does.
But yeah, so back to that. Yeah, Salma Hayek reunited with Antonio Banderas is good. Ryan Reynolds is always good times. Like, it's just going to be another one of those, like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, good action film. Let's get in it. Like, you know, and I'm happy to watch something like that, especially when, I mean, I can't really remember why they keep trying to kill Samuel L. Jackson in the first one. The first one was forgettable. Like, I watched it was like, nah, okay, it is what it is. Kind of like I was gonna watch, instead of doing this, I was gonna watch The Wrath of Man, or Man of Wrath. Whatever.
It's Wrath of Man, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, whatever bold Jason Statham.
Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, I call it Jason Statham because it's like literally they made a joke about Jason Statham punching a shark and then he did. Because that was like a thing they did, right? They were like, just put Jason Statham fighting the shark, and then all of a sudden China were like, hey, well, you know, they did this, let's do it, and they did it, and it's a film called The Meg.
Yeah,
which is actually all right, to be fair.
I saw it very recently. Do you know what? It's entertaining.
The thing is, like, that's all you really want from movies now. Like, that's all I really care. Is like, will you entertain me enough for 2.5 hours? Like, there are films that are entertaining me that I'm like, just put it on and watch, forget about what's going on in the world for an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever, and I'm good. That's how I felt about Army of the Dead. Right, I watched it, I enjoyed it. I
heard that film's trash.
Bro, like, it's not trash.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I think the intro to that movie is one of the greatest, like, intros I've seen in a film. Like Zack Snyder style intro. You know, when he did it for like the Watchmen, and then he did it for Batman and Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is another great one. So he does that again for this movie. Like, you know, the whole slow motion shit's going to hell kind of thing. Right. Anyway, moving off that point. We'll talk about that later. But robot zombies. You'll see. Yeah. So it's a cookie cut film. It's going to be a film that I'll sit down. I'll watch it on the high seas. I won't go to the cinema to watch it, but I'll watch it on the high seas. And in fact, there is nothing coming out in the near future that has me going, I'll go cinema to watch that. I've been spoiled for a year.
Yeah.
The fact that movies have been able to just come out and I could just watch them, and Disney tried to make me pay for Mulan, which, or Raya the Last Dragon, which is incredible. But the point is, like, there's nothing. This film is not going to be a film I'm going to go out of my way to watch in the cinema. Same with Eternals. Like, I don't care. I'll watch it on high seas. I don't care.
What about Top Gun Maverick?
Nah.
Yeah, I know his stance on that, and I know why.
Yeah, he knows why. It's a political thing. But I also wouldn't do that purely just because, dude, we've been stuck indoors for so long. Like, I'm in my element. Like, that's where I want to be. I don't want to leave and see other people. Do you know how inconvenient it is to drive to the cinema, pay for parking, deal with dickheads standing in line, go in the cinema, sit down in someone else's chair, watch this movie, and then do that in reverse? No, thank you. I don't care. I love films. I just don't love them that much. I'll buy it on iTunes though. I'll pay the money. If you put that shit out, I've been buying films on iTunes left and right. So if this film comes out on iTunes, I'll pay for it. If it's good, if the reviews are good enough, and I can't be bothered to watch it on the high seas, I'll pay for it. You'll get my money. You know, this film, like, but it's not. There's nothing about the Hitman's Bodyguard's wife. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like
that. Whatever. There's nothing about this film that's making me go, yeah, that's a cinema movie. But Ryan Reynolds is good times. So, you know, like, almost, I would say like 90% of the films that he does, they're enjoyable.
Yeah,
like,
that's fun.
You know, like everything from Van Wilder to now, excluding maybe the Green Lantern, and he's not even that bad in that movie because that's really not.
No, he was great in a role.
It's not actually his fault; it's everything else around it.
Yeah, agreed.
So like, yeah, I mean, he's like a consistent. Him, and I'm glad to see Antonio Banderas in a big film again because he was teetering for a bit. No, there was a moment he was doing his direct. He was going down the fucking
straight to video.
Yeah, he was going that Steven Seagal route for a moment, and I was like, no, bring it back. You're still Antonio Banderas. We like you. And also, I just think it's funny because the woman who plays his wife in Spy Kids is in the Gina Gaccioni, or whatever her name is. She is in the new film we're about to talk about next.
Okay, and that's a nice segue into the Gunpowder Milkshake. and I've got to say, this is again ever since John Wick came out. There's been a trend of, well, that's popular, let's do that. And every one of them fails.
The trend you're talking about is the one v many. That's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
the one or ragtag group of small group versus many adversaries, and they are completely underestimated, and then they end up kicking the shit out of everybody in the manner over dumb shit. So if this one's over a milkshake, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Well, you said it in a longer sentence, a revenge story.
A what, sorry?
Like a revenge story or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah,
anyway,
it's.
make your point. Go ahead.
I'm
not going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I haven't got much to say about this. One, it's on Netflix, so I'll never see it. Two, it looks like it's trying to take all the staples from John Wick. So many films are doing that now, and the way they display the action is exactly as a template that all the John Wick trailers have. But it works for John Wick because you believe in Keanu Reeves' character. With all these other ones, you don't know who these characters are. If the action's okay, you go, okay, you know, it entices you, but why do you care? With John Wick, John Wick came out of nowhere, and because it's kind of like the Kiefer Sutherland thing. No one else can play Jack Bauer. Kiefer Sutherland is that character. If anyone else tried to play Jack Bauer, it just wouldn't work. You wouldn't believe him. It's the same with the Terminator, or the T-800 anyway. If anyone else played the T-800 other than Arnold, it would be a hard sell. With John Wick, you believe the character because the character was crafted for him. With this film, the Gunpowder Milkshake, I think it's Gillian. What's her name? Gamora.
Karen Gillian.
Yeah, Gamora. Why
Yeah,
Gamora?
You mean Nebula?
Nebula. Why Gamora? Why Nebula? Yeah, I it's good to see her in that, but again, I felt like it was trying too hard. It was trying too hard to sell me, hey, do you like John Wick? Well, you're gonna like Gunpowder Milkshake. And it just didn't. It's fine. Who's next?
I was just gonna say this, that I've watched the trailer. I mean, I'm gonna give it a go because I like these sort of popcorn movies, but I just hope it doesn't turn out to be one of those Hotel Artemis sort of a show. You know what I mean?
Oh, Hotel.
Yeah, you saw that? It's like a cheap rip-off John Wick. They try to do the hotel.
I didn't mind that movie though. That was okay. Hotel Artemis was alright, bro.
Yeah, but I
like.
I agree, but it was
black actor though. Like, what's his name? The main dude who's in that.
Batista.
I can't remember. Oh
no,
yeah.
No. The main actor, the main dude.
Oh, I gotta Google this.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Whoever the black guy, whoever he was in Predators as well.
Oh yeah.
Mahershala Ali.
No.
And Sterling Brown.
Yes, Sterling K. Brown. Yeah.
Him. I like him. I think he's really good. First time I saw him was in a show called Us.
Oh, okay. I saw him in the OJ show.
Okay. Yeah, with I know which one you're talking about.
The one with David Schwimmer.
Yeah, that's right.
The first time I saw him, it's just Supernatural.
Did he play in that? Was he Cochran?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, Johnny Cochran, good old Johnny Cochran, the Wookiee defense. Sorry,
shit. No, he wasn't. There was another guy that was Johnny Cochran. He was working in the same department that Johnny Cochran.
Okay.
He was on the same team. But yeah.
No. So
Brown, is that his name? Sterling Brown.
Sterling K. Brown. Yeah.
Sterling K. Brown. He's brilliant. I think he's a fantastic actor. So, in Artemis Hotel, obviously we're tangenting a lot, but in the Artemis Hotel, he was great in that. So, but anyway, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, the Artemis Hotel would have been a great accoutrement to the John Wick franchise, and like directly linking it would have just made sense. But yeah,
different directors, different writers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And it's like I'm surprised that nobody was the same stunt team, right? Was it even the same director or producers?
No, nothing. No attachment at all.
No,
whatsoever.
no, negative. The guys in the bus that fight with Saul Goodman. That's how I know him. In Nobody, they're from the. So one of them is in the Kickboxer Retaliation, the Kickboxer remake movie, and the other one is he is in the John Wick franchise as the bodyguard in the first film.
Oh, he's in the Matrix Reloaded. He's one of the agents.
Yes, he's one of the agents. Yeah.
I know you're talking about that.
Correct. Yes. He also played Jean-Claude Van Damme in character in Kickboxer. Kickboxer or Bloodsport? Bloodsport.
I think it might have been Bloodsport.
Bloodsport 2 and Bloodsport 3, which nobody ever talks about. But yeah, and then Bloodsport 4 was Mark Dacascos.
No way.
I think so. Yeah, it was either Bloodsport 4 or Kickboxer 4. One of the two was Mark Dacascos.
Oh, Mark, you're better than. Well, we know he's better than that. So.
No, he is. He's the best. He's fucking. He's Brotherhood of the Wolf, mate.
Yeah. No one talks about Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Nobody talks about that movie, bro. That film's great.
Yeah, it really is. Anyway, yeah, sorry guys. Gunpowder Milkshake. What do you? One of you take the reins. What do you think?
I didn't mind the trailer. It felt a little off though. I don't know what that was, but
it's called pandering. Say, hey, do you like John Wick? Do you like gun action? Do you like sexy women?
I mean, the big pull for me. It's directed by a director called Navot.
Whoa, sorry. You said unsexy women. Angela Bassett's in that movie, sir.
Yeah.
Do not say that about Angela Bassett, mate. Angela Bassett.
No, I said sexy women.
Oh, I thought you said unsexy. I was like, this dude is not called Angela Bassett's like whatever 90, and she still looks fucking a smoke show. She looks like she's my age. I'm 32. She looks like she's 32.
She was supposed to be
still
Storm.
A smoke show.
She could have been Storm. In all right, she should have been Storm.
It almost feels like a passing of the torch, though, because you got like the older sort of actresses, especially like so you got that Gina, whatever her name is. You got Angela Bassett, and then you got is it Michelle Yeoh?
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, is it Michelle Yeoh?
Yeah.
I mean, like Michelle Yeoh was rocking it back with
Jackie Chan.
No, not even that, bro. What was the one she did with Rothrock?
Rothrock? I don't know.
It was Rothrock.
I know you talk about the chick from the 80s. She used to
blonde chick who used to fight in Chinese movies.
Oh my god, what's her name? Let me find her name.
Stacey and her last name's Rothrock. I know that for sure.
What flick were they in?
I don't know.
Cynthia Rothrock.
Cynthia Rothrock, yeah.
Cynthia Rothrock, yeah. She worked with fucking Michelle Yeoh in like old school like martial arts movies in Asia. Like she was one of those chicks who would go out there in Asia, white chick, and she'd kick the shit. She was like they had to tell her to like slow down and shit. Like she was one of them other great martial artists out there. But so it just feels like this film is kind of like those actresses kind of handing over the torch to women like that Karen Gillian woman. She ain't bad. I don't think she's a bad actress.
I think she's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I mean, one of the pulls for me. It's directed by Navot Papushado. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Papushado. Okay, yeah. He directed a film called Big Bad Wolves that came out a few years ago, like 2013, and that was a really good film. I've seen it, but yeah, he hasn't done much else since then. So I'm hopefully maybe the action's going to be okay. But we'll see. I mean, like, yeah, the trailer was quite a generic kind of action movie trailer, and yeah, I guess you're right. It was pandering a little bit, but I thought it was a breath of fresh air after watching the Eternals. So maybe my standards lowered a bit, but anyway.
I think it should be fun, but the only issue that I'm looking at is that for the whole trailer, you see basically just the women. I wonder if they're just doing, this is all women assassins, sort of a fighters sort of a movie. So if that's the case, I hope they just do a good job, not do a Ghostbuster or Ocean's. What was it? 6, 7, whatever that was. That movie was garbage.
What film was that?
The Ocean's.
Ocean's 8. Yeah, it's a bad film. Ocean's 8. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they were trying to do all the women thing, but they just wrote a terrible crap movie.
I'm going to spoil this film. So spoilers for anyone. They kill off Daniel Ocean, which is why. So why am I watching this film?
Yeah.
Didn't even cameo. They just killed him off screen.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I started watching that. The minute I heard Danny Ocean was dead, I switched off.
Yeah, I
didn't watch the rest of the movie. I was like, Liz.
I never understood why would that be in the movie.
Yeah, why is it relevant to even kill him off and just mention it? There's no relevance to doing that.
They had no need to even make her as a relative to her at all.
Didn't even know he had a sister. Look, this is about Gunpowder Milkshake. Does everyone agrees that it's mediocre, but they'll probably watch it.
Well, I mean, there's a trailer, but let's hope the movie's better.
Fantastic. Let's move on. The last trailer is Last Night in Soho. This is an Edgar Wright film, and he's been Twitter talking about this for a while, and it looks like it's a out of genre film for him. Actually, no, it's not. It's on key. It's a horror. It looks like a horror film, but there doesn't seem to be any comedy elements that I can see in it. So
it just reminds me of, like, there was a film that I watched ages ago called. It's almost like it's almost like a mix between Frequency and a film that I watched called I'm Still Here.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
And it's kind of like a Who Killed Me, but from like the old past kind of style movie. And I kind of got the point of it. I was like, oh, she's somehow connected to this person who's trying to tell the story about how she got killed and maybe the killer's still alive. And it's okay. Like, is there more to this than that? Because if there is, I need to know. Because otherwise I'm not going to get out of my way.
Yeah, again, with horror films... See, this is... With horror films, you can be a bit more forgiving. This, to me, looks like he's trying something different. Because it's a very different tone for any of the films that he's done before, that I can see anyway. I guess Baby Driver is the closest equivalent to that, but there were still comedy elements in Baby Driver. Baby Driver is a good film. With this, I don't really know what to make of it. It looks like a film that would come out in October. I'm not actually sure when this is coming out. Yeah, October it's coming out. So this is definitely a horror film. So if he's going for that trope, then yeah, more power to him. I hope to see another trailer that is a bit more explains a little bit more, but looks like she has a time travel she's time traveling in someone else's body, it seems. So interesting spin, but yeah, we'll see. What do you guys think?
Did he direct Grindhouse?
He created, I think, a commercial in Grindhouse.
Yeah, he did the Thanksgiving segment, the fake trailer for Thanksgiving.
Because he's done a horror movie short kind of thing called Don't back in 2007.
Yeah. Sorry, Don't was a fake movie trailer for Grindhouse.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like how Machete was a fake trailer originally.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, check it out. It's a good trailer. I want there to be a film.
And so then you got obviously he's done Scott Pilgrim and stuff. I love Scott Pilgrim. I think Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim's great.
But if you look at the last about Edgar Wright's work, anything I've seen is just kind of like, when someone tells me oh, it's an Edgar Wright movie, I'll be like, oh, okay. Like, it's not. I don't see a lot. Obviously, I know he's done he did the Cornetto trilogy. So, did he do the full Cornetto trilogy, or did he just do 2 of them?
No, he did all 3. He wrote
all of them. Yeah?
He wrote them and directed them. Yeah, it's all him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get it. I understand why people obviously, he's a good director in the films. The films that I've seen of his, I've enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sure I'll enjoy this. But again, it's just another there is the main actress in this who plays the
Little Miss Sunshine.
No, the other one.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Whoever the one was in that show, The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I don't like her face.
You don't like Swedish people, do you?
No, I just don't like her face.
Okay.
What do you mean Swedish? I thought she was from here.
Yeah, I thought she was British.
I think she was born in Europe. I think she's Swedish.
She's sweet. She's British via IKEA, is what we're saying.
Okay.
I don't know enough about her acting credit. She was good in The Queen's Gambit. Don't get me wrong, but there was nothing in this movie again that made me go like maybe just until the end when you see the hand breakthrough in the trailer. Like I was like, oh okay, this is some sort of horror thing. Then it's not just some sort of out of body experience like like Vanilla Sky or some nonsense that's going to confuse me later.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a beginning, middle, and an end, and he's coherent, like I'll watch it. If somebody tells me it's a good film, I'll go out of my way and I'll check it out. But it's not going to be something I'm going to be running to the cinema for. Again, like the next film that will make me go to the cinema, like you got to re-release T2 in fucking 4D, and I'll go. Maybe.
Wow.
Okay, she was born in Miami.
Yeah, it seems like she's what I call Spanish English.
She's born in Miami. She belongs to the streets, homeboy.
Oh no, I quite liked her in Peaky Blinders and what was it? The New Mutants as well.
Yeah, I like that too.
In fact, you know what? I didn't even know it was the same actress because she's quite a chameleon. She has different looks in her films quite clearly because she's hot as in New Mutants, as far as I'm concerned. So, but no, I like the trailer personally. But like I said, look, this is a teaser. We know it's by Edgar Wright straight off the bat. It's a horror.
Yeah. You got that much from it, yeah.
Yeah, you got that much. You got that much from it. That it was a horror. You know who's starring in it. Yeah, I'm in. You know where it's set and stuff. I got a lot more information about what this movie's about than I ever did out of the Eternals. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going there. This is a perfect
one was a teaser and one was a trailer. That tells you even more. Eternals was a full trailer and this was just a teaser, and you learned more about this.
Well, no, they were both teasers.
Oh, they're both teasers.
Yeah, they're both teasers. They're both teasers because the big argument I had was like, oh, all the other Marvel teasers are exactly the same. I was like, no, they're not, because take Guardians of the Galaxy. First thing you get is that exchange with Star-Lord. You know, who are you? I'm Star-Lord. Who? You know what I mean? Like that stuff. And then you got the Rogues Gallery, you know, the prison lineup. So you get to know each character there, and then boom, you get some of that music, and you don't even know what the fuck that movie is. Walking trees, talking raccoons with miniguns. I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm in. But like, I got that from, you know, a trailer that managed to get me in the theater as quick as I can in what, you know, half the time the Eternals trailer was in. And they're both comic book movies, and they're both by the same studio, and they're both unknown IPs. So, you know, but anyway, yeah.
I was going to say that,
but yeah.
I was going to say I saw the trailer and it confused me, but the confusion brought me into trying to understand what the hell was going on. And then I saw her reflection in the mirror, and it's a different girl. I'm like, oh, I'm in. Plus, Edgar Wright, I mean, the last 6 movies of his I've watched, I've actually really, really liked. So just because of that, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the trailer did leave me hanging. I mean, at one point I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But somebody's got to tell me. But now I know it's a teaser. I'll wait for the trailer and see what is actually going on.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar Wright, man, guy's nothing but gold in my eyes. I mean, hell, guy cut out of Ant-Man, okay, out of the Ant-Man movie. Yeah, even though he didn't like have anything to do with you know, shooting the movie.
Yeah,
his fingerprints is all over that movie. You know what I mean? No. Well, he did. He wrote. They basically what it was. He wrote the first couple of drafts of Ant-Man, and then what happened was Marvel turned around to him, and because he was taking so long with it. It was supposed to come out during Phase 1, and I think it came out towards the end of Phase 2. But what happened was Ant-Man at the time wasn't really that big, popular selling comic book or character at the time. And what they did, they changed the Ant-Man from Hank Pym to Scott Lang. I remember when they announced that Michael Douglas was Hank Pym, and my mind was like, why are they casting Michael Douglas as Hank Pym? He's too old. But I didn't realize that Scott Lang was the new Ant-Man and whatever that was. And the reason why he left was like, he was like, well, who the fuck is Scott Lang? Because Hank Pym's who he grew up with. So what he did, he left, but what Marvel did, they kept sections of his script, got Paul Rudd himself to write the script along with Adam McKay, and they took parts which worked in the original script that Edgar Wright did, and a lot of Edgar Wright's humor is imprinted on those movies. So, like a lot, like the bit where the train, the Thomas the Tank Engine train, specifically Thomas the Tank Engine train, specifically the bit where the guy who's the Latino guy that talks and
Michael Pena.
Yeah,
Michael Pena. But Michael Pena scenes when he talks and then it cuts to Stan Lee talking and all those people talking. That was an Edgar Wright thing, but that was an Edgar Wright idea, and it's been interjected into those movies and stuff, and perfectly so. So anything Edgar Wright does basically at this point is literally gold to me. So, what I mean? He's doing more serious horror. I'm down. You know what I mean?
Well, on that note, that's everything that has to be said on those trailers. Well, after that marathon, we are finally into the main subjects, and we'll start with Sonic 2. So Sonic 2 was announced, I think at the beginning of the year or end of last year, and
literally 3 weeks after the original came out in theaters, they greenlit it like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's already wrapped, from what I understand. The question being is that they have more Sonic characters in I haven't seen this film, so I don't really have much stock in it.
Dude, you should watch it. It's good. Sonic
really good.
the Hedgehog.
I probably will.
Hedgehog. I fucking love the Sonic film. Like, I think it's a great movie. It's one of those. Do you know what it is? It's like if you take all jokes aside of like slapstickery and why a video game movie is good. It's one of the few, if not like maybe 3 decent video game movies, like direct adaptations. I would say Mortal Kombat, the original, is on that list. Sonic is the other one, and then like maybe what would the third one be, Sash? Who would you say?
No, I think you named the only 2 that I deem worthy. Actually, no. Castlevania. Castlevania.
No. I'm talking movies.
Okay, Silent Hill.
I was going to say that.
Silent Hill. Yeah, okay. I'll give you
the first one.
Yeah, first one.
I'll give you Silent Hill. But apart from that, like, there hasn't been a true faithful, like, video game movie adaptation. And then I watched this, and my hopes, my expectations were so low. After the whole fiasco with what Sonic looked like and then having to change it, and I was like, they're gonna go back into post and fucking change all of that, but like they did it well. I think fucking Jim Carrey in that movie was great. I loved everything about that film. There were so many little inside jokes that I was in. I was like, this film's great. I love the fact that they called it the Mushroom Kingdom. And he's like, you have to go to Mushroom Land and da-da-da. Like, there's a big fucking dig at Mario, but it's like, if you're not into it, you just think he just doesn't want to go there. I want him to. I spoke. So we have a friend. Me and Sash have a friend. I'm sure maybe Joe knows him as well. Like Ibs. I asked him, like, can you explain this whole? Like, I don't really know a lot about Sonic, but what's with the owls and why are like Knuckles? Who's what is Knuckles?
And China.
And China.
Yeah.
like they were chasing Sonic at the beginning, and then the owl protects him. And I was like, okay, so like, are we gonna ever talk about that? Let's know more about that. And I hope they explain that, because I want to know about the owl. But then my mate Ibs was like, oh, they just kind of put that in for the movie. There's no real backstory to that. And because I was always a Nintendo fanboy as opposed to Sega, but yeah, they smashed it. I think Sonic, like, dude, like, Joe, take my recommendation, man. Like, watch the Sonic film, take it for what it is. Just watch it, sit down, chill out, like. Don't expect greatness, and I promise you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. Like, and I find myself watching it now and then just to put it on, because it is a good, enjoyable, cookie cutter, fucking 3-act movie that you can just enjoy, and at the end of it, be like, "That was funny," and I'm gonna move on now. Like, yeah, so
absolutely entertaining.
Yeah,
like
for a second one, like, yeah, bring it on. I'm totally down to watch a second one of those movies. Like that, maybe I would go to the cinema to watch, because that I enjoyed, and that I think the major sticking point for everybody was like Sega listened to everybody and did not do what movies normally do, which is like, no, we're just gonna do it, and we're gonna do it our way, and if you don't like it, fuck you. Like, everyone was like, no, we don't like this. And so Sega was like, okay, cool, we'll change it for you, and we'll do it the way you want it. And they did it, and it was a success. So, yeah, bring on the second one.
I'm gonna drop some insider knowledge, kind of thing, regarding Sonic 1. I was working at Sega at the time when, you know, as a video games tester, I've worked there with that company on and off over the past, like, I don't know, 15, 16 years kind of thing. I worked there for 5.5 years, and then I took a sabbatical, working different jobs and shit. And I ended up back there recently, like around the time while the first movie was being made. Now, bear in mind, when the first pictures of Sonic came out, no one in the company that worked on the video games arm of things knew that there was a Sonic movie being made. We found out when the public knew, and the atmosphere in the QA office. Specifically, QA is quality assurance. We test the games, and these are the guys that play the games. They know the Sonic lore inside out. So when those first pictures leaked, everyone was like, and we're talking some hardcore Sonic the Hedgehog fans, because they work for Sega, you know. A lot of people's hearts like smashed that day, going, what the fuck are they doing, you know? And we got announced by a big massive poster outside our building with the look of Sonic the Hedgehog, and we were just like, what the fuck is that? Walking into work that day. For the next couple of months, there were wanted posters of whatever the fuck that was around the office, like literally. And to be quite honest, the higher-ups wanted to get us to stop doing that, but they were getting rid of our whole department in a year and a half's time anyway. That our QA manager was like, look, let them have their fun, because let's face it, we're bidding them all, you know, in a year and a half's time anyway. What are you gonna do to them? You know, we're trying to boost their morale kind of thing. And you know, it was no secret. I was like heavily against that movie. You know what I mean? The look of him, the direction they were going. And then I saw that movie, and you know what? Like, yeah, okay, it was a studio checklist kids movie, but it was a well-made one. Not only was it a well-made one, the director and the production team behind the movie, they listened to the fan base, which is something very rare in Hollywood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It really is.
It really is rare. I mean, sure, the CEO of Sega Europe famously said, let Paramount do their thing, because we know fuck all about movies. But then when you got Sega of Japan down the phone going, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Down his throat going, yo, that's not our mascot. We need that train. That went high up the chain, basically, for those changes to happen. You know, when Japan gets involved, you know, heads are destroyed, basically. And yeah, that they listened. They listened to the fan base. They changed the character model. Not only did they change the character model, they added a lot more inside jokes for Sega fans across the board that would get stuff like how you would an MCU movie. You know, if anyone saw, there's a shot where it had Robotnik's top secret plans, and it says Badniks there. Unless you are hardcore of the hardcore Sonic Sonic fanboy, you'd know what a badnik is, aka any one of Sonic's robot enemies that as you kill they become like there's an animal trapped inside. You know, I was like, wow, they're bringing badniks in this thing. Obviously they're saving it for a sequel because they obviously had whatever film they had made, but it was a film that, yeah, sure, it played it safe, but it didn't piss over the established lore of the games, and it was a fun ride. And I think the most important thing of what made that movie great was we finally got the Jim Carrey that we grew up with back again. You know, like Jim Carrey has not been on form for years, and he's Dr. Robotnik. Perfect casting, like hands down. Like, you know, you have to sign him back for the sequel, and quite clearly they have. You know, because that's his best role in years. I loved him. Isn't
the same director doing the Ace Ventura 3 film?
I think so, and I think so. I'm not entirely sure about that without checking IMDb, but yeah, he's the same director's back, and respect to him because he listened to the fans. The news of the plot, you know what? It shows they're listening. It really shows that they're listening.
What is a plot?
So the plot is Dr. Robotnik has basically returned, kind of thing. He's in search of the Chaos Emeralds, which Knuckles is trying to protect. Now, if you know the lore of Sonic, that is the main plot of the Sonic games. There are 7 Chaos Emeralds scattered across the land. Sonic must stop Dr. Robotnik from obtaining all the emeralds, otherwise it's an Infinity Gauntlet kind of situation. But he's doing it because he wants it to power up his machines and stuff. So to take over and shit. So in Sonic 3 now, in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, specifically, they introduced the character of Knuckles, then Zhao, and basically he's like on Angel Island, which was established in the movie at the start, and they had like a whole load of Anginas after Sonic for whatever reason. Basically, they're like the protectors of the Master Emerald, basically, and Knuckles' job is to make sure that Emerald, kind of like a I guess Doctor Strange thing. We're the protector of that particular stone, if that makes sense. He's like you know what I mean. He's against Sonic originally in Sonic 3 before he teams up with him. You know, because he sees Sonic's after the emeralds as well, but Sonic's only after the emerald, so Eggman doesn't get him. You know what I mean, or Dr. Robotnik doesn't get him. So Eggman is the Japanese name for Dr. Robotnik. So basically they've leaned into the lore hardcore on the sequel, which is what they should do. That excites me as someone that grew up with Sonic, that know all the games back to front, well, all the original games back to front, and I'm just like, wow, they've really taken the plot for Sonic 3, used that as the basis for this movie. They've introduced the Chaos Emeralds to the lore. First thing, I'm like, if we've got Chaos Emeralds, will he turn into Super Sonic? I want to see that. And I want to see that as a fan. We got Tails, we got Knuckles. That's all we need from sidekicks. We don't need any more. I'm game. I'm 100% game. I'm excited. So, yeah, I'm in.
Take this as a recommendation, Joe. Everybody on here right now is telling you should watch this film.
Dude. My exact reaction to the Sonic movie coming out was officially, oh my God, I never thought I would say that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie would be better than fucking Rise of Skywalker. Done. And it's true. It's true. It gave me so much joy. I was like, what?
And it is just an enjoyable film. You should definitely watch it.
The still image of Rise of Skywalker is better than Rise of Skywalker.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it is.
As long as it's the Star Wars logo right at the start before bullshit begins in that movie, yeah, I'll agree with you.
You should just call it that, Star Wars, the bullshit begins.
Star Wars, the
bullshit. Okay, well, gathering those recommendations, I'll watch it. It's on Amazon, so I'll watch it. I haven't watched any new films apart from Tenet. I've not been interested in anything that's come out to stream. I just don't care, and I think that's I don't know why. I don't care.
You should watch Army of the Dead, man. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people did. It's like it's just a good. I haven't watched. I haven't watched the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League yet.
What?
Neither have I. I haven't watched Justice League yet. Either one. I'm done with that universe.
I will sit down and watch it eventually, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I'll tell you what's a good film you should watch, Joe. It's a film that came out. You'll have to find it online. It's called The Paper Tigers.
Oh, I've seen that.
That was good.
Hold on a minute. Paper Tigers, what year did it come out?
This year.
Okay, I have not seen it.
I'll send you the link to it. Satch, I sent you the link to that, right?
I think you did. I didn't watch it. I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good film.
Can I ask you, is it a film that has a theatrical release window?
No.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So I think it was an indie. It's an indie film, or it's a low budget movie.
Okay.
So it would have come out in like Crozon or selected cinemas. So
right,
yeah.
Right.
What year
Definitely
did it come out?
In the UK. I think it came out this year.
Oh, this year. Okay.
Yeah. So it was made in 2020, I think, and then hit the film festival scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
And then kind of like COVID hit.
So if it's hit the festival scene, it's had a cinematic release then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it hit the festival scene. I just don't know how in depth or anything else. I randomly saw a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Checked it out and was like, "Wow, this film's hilarious." And then I watched it and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in. This film's good."
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Paper Tigers. It's a martial arts film. You'll like it. It's a martial arts film. I'll send you the link to it, and then you have a butcher's.
Okay. All right.
Know what you think.
Okay. All right. Following on, we mentioned Zack Snyder. Following on to the next question, or moving on to the next question is the right way to say it. Is Sucker Punch. Would you watch a director's cut of this film? And if so, why?
Yeah. I actually really liked Sucker Punch. So from what I understand, I think Sash may have told me was that basically someone else had written the script for the first Sucker Punch, for the Sucker Punch film. I don't know.
New information to me, but go on.
Yeah, I think someone else had written the script. The whole thing was like basically done prior to filming, and then they just needed a director to come in and make it. And it was like the film was the actual story it's actually pretty incoherent and it's a pile of dog shit. But you watch it aesthetically, you're like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, I always hear that. It looks really good.
Yeah. Aesthetically, that film's great. And like the trailer for it, man. Like,
I remember the trailer.
The first trailer for it, I was super excited for this movie because I'm like, I don't know what to expect, but this film looks good. And yeah, I mean, aesthetically now, like I'll still watch that film now. I own it on iTunes, and I watch it. I think it's great. The story's so dumb, it almost doesn't make sense. But it's the first time I ever saw Oscar Isaacs in a movie. Was in this film. I'm sure he's obviously acted longer than that, but that's the first time I saw him. And then it had like some pretty good directors in there. Pretty good actresses in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in. It was a good film. Like it's again, this is another one of those films. Like as long as you don't really care about the storyline, you really want a good action movie. Like yeah, totally watch this movie. Like so if they did a director's cut, like. Yeah, okay, I'll watch it. Why not? I like the original, so.
Where did the news of is Zack Snyder doing a director's cut, or is it just a rumor, or Satch?
I don't know about that. Yes, yeah, it's gonna be Satch. Satch has to answer that.
Well, hang on, what's that?
Is Zack Snyder actually doing a director's cut of this movie?
No. He's just basically saying that a director's cut. Is possible and does exist, but you know he doesn't think there's that much interest out there for it. You know what? I would watch it if it was available. I'd watch it like any other movie. Am I begging for it? Not really, but you know that's just my 2 cents.
All I would say is that I had to look it up to see if they actually seen this movie. I actually have seen this movie, so I've sort of forgotten. So, nah, I probably won't.
I mean, what year was it? Like 08?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was like 08, 09.
There you go. It's been 13 years.
Yeah, I think it might be. It was after 300. I know that. It might be 2010.
I do remember I watched it sometime around 11 or maybe 12.
Yeah, because the first Zack Snyder film I ever saw was Dawn of the Dead.
I think that was his first film.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. So I watched that in the cinemas, and I remember that was the first time when I was walking home, when I used to live in Wembley, and I was walking home late at night, and I was just thinking, like, what would I do? Like, that's the first time the idea of a zombie apocalypse had ever crossed my mind. And I was like, what would I do in that scenario? Where would I go? Like, would I survive? Absolutely not. I'd get eaten alive immediately. I have zero con.
Zero con.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
So yeah, again, I've not seen Sucker Punch, and for me, Zack Snyder doesn't. I think that
You're a bit of a snob sometimes in your films. You know that, Joe.
Yes,
like,
I am.
I won't watch Sonic. Sonic the what? The Hedgehog? Fuck off.
Is that you doing me? Is it?
Yeah, just less N-bombs, yeah? Because I do like how you go from you know, Joe to, oh, hello, this is Joe on Zedos Gang Podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's you as with this tag, you have to kind of do the mental gymnastics with.
Speaking of, I watched that movie. What was it called? Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, bloody hell! Okay,
I love that movie.
That was so weird.
do you know what? I know why that actor's in Atlanta now. Because that film is exactly like Atlanta. Have you seen the TV show Atlanta?
I know what it is. That's that's a Childish Gambino show, right?
Yeah.
Great show. Great show.
Really interesting show.
I'll get round to it along with Happy. I'll put it on the list that Sash keeps telling me to watch.
I think you'll like Atlanta. It's
okay.
Everyone should watch Atlanta and Happy. I can't wait for the next season of Atlanta though.
What was I talking? Literally, what was I talking about just now? Oh right, yeah, Sucker Punch. There's the particular films that I watch, because I'm older now. I'm a lot more cynical, and I've seen, for my era, I've seen what's good. What I see now, I'm trying to measure myself in two lights. What I'm like as the older person, what I was like as a kid, and the older person of me. There's certain things that I've seen before that hasn't been done as well. It doesn't measure up for me, and so I will dismiss films like I've got no time to waste for watching this or this or this. I'm more inclined to wait for something heavier now. But if I get enough push from someone to watch a particular thing, I'll go watch it. So
yeah, I mean, like Paper Tigers, for example. There's no, if any, barely any CGI in that.
Oh,
it's
wow,
not like a CGI movie or anything. It's like it's a small indie movie, but you'll like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I get you, man. Like, I find myself just wanting to watch older films because they just don't make films like they used to anymore.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying there aren't good films anymore. I'm just saying there's less of them. There used to be when let's say Hollywood was when they didn't. When you had your James McTeague, is it James McTeague? James McTiernan.
McTiernan.
Yeah. In that era, they just, how much is it going to cost? Okay, do your thing. And now it's like, how much is it going to cost? What color are the cast? What color are the staff? What color are there any Chinese people? Will it sell to China? Is it saying anything derogative about anyone or anything? You can't express just the film. You can't express the script anymore.
You can't express honestly.
And that's
I watched. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
On Saturday, I sat down and watched Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, and Not Another Teen Movie. Mm-hmm. And I forgot how hilarious those movies are. Yeah. Like, they're so good. They're just so good. As spoof movies go, like the Keenan Ivory Wayans, and obviously he didn't do Not Another Teen Movie, but those three movies for me, like, they're great. And there's a lot of practical effects in those movies, and they're kind of well written, especially Not Another Teen Movie. Like,
that's actually a genre that needs a comeback.
Oh no, that it died. It's not.
I know it died, but you know, like how things have their cycle. Its cycle it died 10 years ago, but it's definitely. Let's put it this way: if one came out and shook the radar, I don't know what it would take to do that, because it's impossible to imagine that everyone would talk about it. And it's just the very fact that nobody makes it is why there's probably one in the next decade round the corner.
There'll be another one but they won't do it like that. They'll do it like they did Super. You know, the guy from The Office, Dwight.
Yeah.
Or they'll do it like they did Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're more likely to do that way.
It'll be like a spoof, but more serious, still violent, a lot of...
I mean, what would you spoof? What would you spoof?
What, superhero film I'd spoof?
No, not super. No. See how that genre would spoof genres or sets of movies. If you made one, what would it be?
I'd do a spoof of like do a spoof of like John Wick style. Spoof that. Spoof that with having to get his ass kicked all the time, and then be in hospital and spent months in rehab, and then come out and try to do it again. But just montage every rehab thing, and then have him get better and stronger, and then try it again, and then just get his ass kicked constantly. Or spoof like those 50 Shades of Grey films.
I think that's been done already.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But like,
it's a good idea.
The scary movie ones, like the first Scary Movie obviously spoofed Scream, and they spoofed like there was little hints, like when he's about to kiss the girl and they're in bed, and then Dawson's Creek, like fucking the Dawson comes up and the music's playing and he's like, oh sorry, wrong set, like like that. Like I just love that shit. And even in the second one, like they didn't just spoof House on Haunted Hill, not House on Haunted Hill, The Haunting. They spoofed like
The Ring,
Hollow Man, and
The Ring.
A bunch of them.
The Ring.
Sorry,
The Ring.
No. The Ring was the third one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but they spoofed like Hollow Man. When like they're stuck in the refrigerator and then she ends up jacking him off, and a bunch of other stuff like that. The guy with the weird hand, my strong hand. Like,
oh yeah. My hand's not strong enough.
Like that. Mate, that film is hilarious. Like, I understand that people go, "Why are you watching this dumb shit?" I'm like, do you understand how funny this film is? Like, just own it. I'm back to the point now where I just don't care about the people get snobby with me with movies. They're like, you should watch that.
People watch Big Brother for 10 years and lots of other reality shows. So now we can. When people came with the, I still watch wrestling. People, what do you watch that for? Why does anyone do anything? Why does anyone watch anything? It's so I can. It's not about whether the content is good or not. It's about what I get out of it, and I'm getting comedy out of this. It's funny and it's spectacular. These people are jumping around, trying to beat the shit out of each other, or not trying to beat the shit out of each other.
My girlfriend is such a snob. She'll sit there and be like, "Oh, God, you're watching this," and then she finds herself laughing, and then I have to tell her, "Why are you laughing? I thought you didn't like this movie." Well, that was funny. And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly."
Oh my God, you're that guy.
Fucking enjoy it. What do you mean I'm that guy?
You mean you're the guy who's like, I'm not sure if I like this film, and you sit next to him, and then you watch the film with that guy, and then kept on going, see, you like that part. Why'd you say that?
Yeah, 100%. Well, the thing is, we're sitting in the living room, and Dick runs my household, so
yeah.
I have control of the TV. So if I'm watching something, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. And if you're in the room, then we're watching it. If you're not in the room, I'm still watching it. I don't care. So she unfortunately was in the room and had to watch it. She didn't have to. She could have gone into another room. But she sat down and she started laughing. And I was like, see, I knew you liked this movie. There's no need to be a snob about it. You're going to enjoy it. It's a funny film.
Yeah.
So,
I ended up watching a lot of old films, man. I ended up watching Face Off, Armageddon, Stakeout, all that stuff on like Disney Plus and shit. And I kept on thinking, my God, I used to love these films. They are so moronic. I mean,
what did I say the other day? I messaged you, Sash, right? Yeah. I literally randomly out of nowhere just messaged Sasha saying, Womack, I should have known, you piece of shit.
Womack, I should have known, you piece of shit. He has such a way of saying
you're watching The Rock, and I was like, I am, because of course I'm watching The Rock. And as I was watching it, I had to write a status on Facebook. I'm like, say what you want about Michael Bay, but he makes some enjoyable fucking content. Like, because it is enjoyable content. And then Sash posted the picture up of Megan Fox bending over the motorcycle in that horrible sequel of a movie, but still.
If you had to post one image of that movie that was gold, it was that.
Correct. He does have a very fine derriere, if I may say so myself. But yeah,
you know, I saw that. What was it? That lion movie she was in.
Is that good or what? What's the deal?
It's so bad. It's hilarious. Oh, okay. It's not good in any stretch or form, but you will be entertained as of how bad it is. It's one of those movies, and you know what? She's not that bad in it. She's actually not the worst cast person. The only thing wrong with her is that she doesn't look like someone that would be a captain of a squad. You know what I mean? Like she just looks like Megan Fox in cosplay. If she actually like did her hair or makeup to look like someone that's seen some action, then fair enough. But her actual performance in the role, the script didn't allow her to be wooden. The script didn't allow her to do much, to be honest. But the other actors got all the shitty dialogue, man. It was hilarious. It was fucking. It's not a great movie. It's not a great movie, and the CGI is terrible.
I shall stay away then.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up watching what I call films like Mystery Alaska and The Edge with Anthony Hopkins, and I enjoyed them thoroughly because I had to think about, you know, green screen graphics, whatever. It's simply guys walking through fucking woods, and that was entertaining to me.
Bro, I you know what I find myself loving most about movies now? Dialogue.
Yeah.
So I think when Sash called me yesterday, I was watching Inglourious Bastards, but I was skipping through it. I actually wasn't watching the entire film.
Right.
I was just watching the dialogue scenes.
Right.
So dialogue feed scene at the beginning with the farmer.
Oh, that's really good.
Like,
that hooks
I
you.
love that scene.
Yeah.
And then there's the other dialogue scene when they're in the bar, and the guy, the SS soldier, finally realizes that Michael, what's his name? Fassbender is actually British.
Yeah.
And it's that moment when he puts his fingers up and he's like,
oh, when
the shock in his eyes, and then he's like, then the slow realization, like, oh shit, I'm actually like what I suspected is actually true. And then he's like, you know, he just flips to English. He goes, if we're gonna go out, I'd rather go out speaking the Kings. Yeah. And I was like, what a G. And then fucking Stiglitz is like, say goodbye to your Nazi balls. Like that, and how that film like progresses and stuff. And I also really like the sound of German coming out of Diane Kruger's mouth. So there's also that.
Yeah. Well, she is German, so
yeah, exactly.
It's quite
so
natural.
I love hearing her speak German. So it's like the Mandalorian. I liked hearing him speak French because, as he so puts it, it's like wiping your ass with silk.
Is the Merovingian in the Mandalorian?
No. But it
okay.
just, you know, remember when the Merovingian is like, I speak all these languages.
Right.
French is my favorite, right? And then he starts swearing in French, and he's like, wiping your ass with silk.
I love it.
So yeah, so like, you know, the dialogue scenes I do enjoy. I've started watching a lot more. Like my favorite one is probably the scene in Heat, because I watched that the other day, and it's the scene where fucking, you know, they're talking to each other in the diner.
Oh yeah, it's a good scene
with Pacino and De Niro. If you don't remember it, you go back and watch that scene.
It's literally the next film that I have on my shelf to watch. So I will be, yeah. I'll be re-educating.
You have seen it before, right?
I saw it as a kid, but in parts.
Right.
And it's everything's like, yeah, I think that happened. I think that person's in it, and so now it's just like,
bro, make sure, bro, just for the beginning of that movie, man, I'm gonna watch that film tomorrow.
Everyone's on fire in that movie. I mean, Val Kilmer, Tom Berenger, Natalie Portman. But make sure your sound
system is on max, like best settings for the fucking start of that film.
That is, in my opinion, Michael Mann's greatest film. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
you
I'm
haven't
sorry.
seen it. You haven't seen it.
Yeah,
you can't. If you haven't seen it.
Yeah, sorry. It's hands down.
And you can tell me in it, but hands down.
He is that good. It is that freaking good, man.
For me, my favorite Mann film is Collateral at the moment. But there's other films of his that I do like. I guiltily like Miami Vice.
Miami Vice, yeah.
I like Miami Vice, but Collateral, I enjoy Collateral, and it's a great movie, and Tom Cruise is fantastic in that role. I love his character.
That's why I like it, because he plays a good bad guy.
But the reason why I don't rate it so highly is because I just feel the film falls apart at the end.
No, it
And
doesn't.
well, for me it does, because here's the thing. They've built him up as this contract killer who's efficient at his job and this and that, and then he gets taken out by a taxi cab driver.
Yeah, because he wants to die. He doesn't want to do it. I've seen the film a number of times, and the conversation that he has, he doesn't want to do it, but he's good at it. But the moment he sees a way out, he's just, yep, well, if I die, I die. And I do really think, just summing up the film, he didn't want to go on. He had nothing to live for. He didn't want to go on. And I really do think he just wanted to die. And but that's my interpretation of it. It could be different, and this is why I like it. It's because it's this guy he's got himself into this line of work that he's clearly good at, but he's lost his humanity, and he gets his humanity back when he dies. And yeah. Anyway,
I was going to say Michael Mann's favorite movie is actually The Insider.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good film.
I love that film.
It's a good film.
Pretty good.
That's a good film. Anyway,
sorry, real quick. Sorry.
I need to put it back in the straight and edge. This was
Hold on. Someone.
Yeah.
What are you doing this on? Are you doing this on your phone?
No, it was on my iPad. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'm
down.
just curious because now I can see what your iPad screen sees after you've jerked off. Same angle. You're lying down and iPad sitting on your stomach and everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. Hey, man. You're the one who's imagining it.
Anyways, we were talking about Sucker Punch. I take it no one wants. I take it no one wants to see a director's cut of that. Okay, moving on.
I'd watch it.
Cool. Moving on. Knives Out 2. What was the story on this? Knives Out 2 cast Edward Norton and Batista.
Can they make a Knives Out 2 after Knives Out 1?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
just another case, isn't it? It's like
just another case, right? Yeah.
Just another case for Daniel Craig, man. I mean, you know what? It's very, you know what? I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah,
it does. You know, it has grounds to be. Have a ton of movies as him as a detective sleuth. I think it was that is probably that's my brother's favorite genre. And you know what? Like I enjoy that genre too. My favorite sleuth is Columbo. He is the king of all things like detective, like that kind of genre. But then I've watched quite a lot of Poirot. Poirot, yeah, and stuff like that. But I really think Daniel Craig's character. Yeah, I'd watch a sequel with him. I'm intrigued to see.
Fake eye, love it.
Dude, don't be knocking Peter Falk, man, because Peter Falk,
love it, man.
Dude, you know what's
one more thing.
One more thing. You know what? They have a statue of him in Budapest, man. I didn't know he was Hungarian until I went to Budapest. There's actually like a big statue of him. I got a picture of me stood next to the statue, and we're both scratching our heads like I'm in the exact same pose. But anyway, Peter Falk though, like I never knew until probably about 15 years ago that like Columbo, like obviously it was always on TV, but it started off in the 60s, lasted throughout the 70s, and then when it ended it took a 10-year hiatus, and then they did New Columbo, which was in the 80s, 85 to 95. Then after 95 till the man died, he did a special Columbo special every year till like 2010 or something like that, or whenever, you know what I mean? And I just didn't know Columbo at the time when I discovered that. I had no clue that they were still making Columbo, if that makes sense. I just thought it was like a rerun thing all the time, but they were still doing TV specials until he died. So like Knives Out, New Sleuth, I'm intrigued to see who they cast in there, because obviously with these things it's like
Batista.
who are the characters, and you literally said it. Yeah, I know, but back to that casting announcement. Edward Norton, fantastic actor, and you know what? I think the wild card here is Dave Bautista, because Dave Bautista, his acting you know, you got to understand, like, he played to his strengths in the Bond movie he was in, and then James Gunn found like a comedic element to him. He's been around some of the best in the business, best actors in the business, and learnt so much.
Bro, in Army of the Dead, man, he has range, bro. I'm telling you, like, I don't think that film would give you range on him, man, him acting, but
that's good to know, because you know what, his performance in Blade Runner is standout. In that movie, because like the way he plays that character is very somber and stuff. And then the other noteworthy performance of his filmography is that movie you mentioned earlier, The Hotel
Artemis.
Yeah, Artemis. That was a really good. You know, he's really branching out into his own as an actor. He's not just some one-dimensional dude anymore. And I think him being in a movie like this is a really good move for him, because he's in something that's suspense drama that's gonna have a lot of acting chops, you know, around it, and he's around by some quality actors as well. So Batista's gonna be the wild card that I'm gonna be looking at in this movie.
Yeah,
because
he did a film called My Spy last year.
Yeah,
it's like an Amazon movie that he did, like a spy. You know, all these wrestlers end up doing like a I'm gonna look after this kid for a while kind of movie. He did that. That film's hilarious. Like, he's really funny in that shit. So he's good, man. I like Dave Bautista, and definitely not somebody I expected to have such a good breakout performance. When I saw, because he was doing like direct to DVD films until he hit Guardians. Yeah. And then when he got Guardians, and he was explaining about how like his wife and his family had all been fucked by Thanos and shit. Like, yeah, 100%. Like, you could feel the emotion of his character. And like, I guess that comes from being in wrestling, right? You know, like having to act all the time and that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Edward Norton's great. He's always great in pretty much everything he does. Yeah. So I have no real qualms with whatever he's going to do there. I know he'll be the bad guy. because
they haven't announced anyone else yet. They're still casting.
He'll be the bad guy. He'll be the squirmy bad guy behind the scenes, because he's really, really good at that. He did that in The Italian Job, and I was like, wow, you're a fucking piece of shit as a human being.
He's like, in The Italian? Oh, the
remake. Yeah, he was in the remake with Marky Mark.
I've not seen that one.
Really, it's actually okay.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. But like he, it's got a pretty decent cast in it. But with Edward Norton in that, like, he's pretty weaselly is the word I would choose to describe it. And so like I can see him sort of imitating that type of performance in this film as well.
Okay. Well,
Solomon hasn't answered. Let Solomon speak.
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh no, I was going to say. Well, I'm just waiting for the film. I love the first one. I'm hoping the second one is as good, and hoping the third one is as great as well. Because other than superhero movies, this is the only mystery movies we have. It's like the Agatha Christie of our day, sort of a thing.
Did they ever make a movie? Did anybody ever watch that Murder on the Orient Express, the new one?
I did.
Yeah.
Is it good? I want to watch it.
It's campy, just like the old. Well, it feels
I like
like
the old
an old
one
film.
better.
It feels So I see what Kenneth Branagh was trying to do. He was trying to bring some of that. You know, some of these films are a little bit camp. He brought some of that into it. I mean, his moustache is fucking huge. If that doesn't tell you the film's camp, then nothing will. It's fun. It's decent. It's enjoyable, but you won't think about it again.
No, you won't. Let me put it this way. I mean, I like Johnny Depp's bet. I like Olivia Colman's bet, and obviously Dame Judi Dench's bet. Everybody else sort of kind of goes and comes and goes. You won't even realize they were there, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And other than that, yeah. I mean, I recently saw the old one on BBC. The iPierce is, I think, still on there, and I would say it's better. Actually, the old one's better.
Sometimes older films are better, though. If you ever watch the original '89 Woman in Black versus the Woman in Black that came out with Daniel Radcliffe, the first one is terrifying.
Yeah.
There we go.
I also watched the Murder on the Nile. That's also another Agatha Christie film.
Yeah.
The old one, and that's really good too. The old stuff.
Yeah, that's the next one he's done as well. Kenneth Branagh's done as well. He's done the Nile one. He's filmed it already, hasn't he?
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hasn't come out yet.
Well, let's see. I've recently just watched that, so it's just fresh in my mind. The old 1970 something film.
Okay. Moving on. So the next title next topic is Uncharted. So it looks like there's a bunch of screenshots for this new Uncharted film. I mean, it's nothing really to shout about, to be honest. No,
I don't understand why this is a topic. I mean, until the teaser comes out or whatever.
I mean, you got to talk to Satch about that one. I put it in just because I wanted to show that there's nothing to see. there's literally nothing to see.
I couldn't care less about an Uncharted movie because they did not cast what's his name?
Nathan Fillion.
No,
okay.
No, not even.
What are we talking about?
Uncharted.
Bruce Campbell. They didn't cast Bruce Campbell as Sully. Therefore, they ruined it. They had the perfect character right there. All they needed to do is get Bruce Campbell exactly the same character that he was in fucking
Burn Notice. Yeah.
And put him in that movie. It would have been perfect. But they didn't do it, so fuck that movie. I don't care.
Anyway,
I was going to ask one thing. Is Tom Holland filming that right now in the Uncharted film?
I think he's finished filming Uncharted.
Cool, because I'm a big Formula 1 fan. I'm a fanatic. And Monaco was on last weekend, and he was there because he showed up on TV and everything. He looked buff. Because he's a tiny guy. He looked like a square box. You know what I mean?
He's a gymnast as well, isn't he? So
is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's like a really athletic person.
Yeah, but I don't think that looks like a Spider-Man physique. I think he's either doing something else, or I thought maybe he was doing Uncharted. I don't know.
He's got to be quite athletic for this because I mean, Nathan Drake is pretty active in the movie, but obviously this is going to be like young Indy, right? So it's going to be Nathan Drake version 1 before he becomes Nathan Drake as we know it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? These pictures just cement what I said before, like badly miscast. I mean, you know what? The attention.
Hold on. What pictures are you talking about? Because I dragged some pictures.
The pictures that showed up didn't have him in his iconic outfit. They did the first pictures of him and Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's got a tash, fine, but he just looks like Mark Wahlberg with a tash. And because Tom Holland's not in the classic garb, obviously he just looks like Tom Holland. If anything, if I didn't know it was Uncharted, it's just some next film. I just think, I think Leo more or less nailed it on the head. I just think this film's been terribly miscast. I'm sure Holland's probably going to do a spot-on impersonation of the voice actor's voice because he's very good at mimicking voices and accents and that kind of thing. But I don't know. Until I see a trailer to get a feel of the film, then I'll probably feel a little bit different otherwise. But at the moment, I just can't buy it. I'm a huge fan of the IP. I just can't buy it at the moment until I need more. So, yeah.
Agreed. I'll just start. Yeah, I think... No, I won't say anything more else. You've said everything I needed to say on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the images that I put up...
Silence your phone, Solman.
So, yeah. Sorry.
The images that I just put up didn't suggest anything about the film. I mean, it was like watching the teaser for the Eternals. There's nothing about it that suggests anything to me, other than a map, a book, some ornaments. I to be honest, I don't know what to expect from Uncharted. I've never played any of them. No, that's a lie. I played the third one, and yeah, the mechanics didn't sit with me.
What's the bet? I'm gonna take a bet right now that Tomb Raider Cradle of Life is better than this movie.
I'll take another bet. I bet you that Ben Wheatley's not directing anymore, but Ben Wheatley was supposed to direct the second new Tomb Raider film, and
I haven't even seen the first one. Is that any good?
It's all right.
No, not really.
It's mediocre.
Right.
It's as mediocre as the first one.
They didn't cast
good.
The girl from Star Wars, which they should have. So
you know what it is? It's that Tomb Raider is good if you don't know the lore from the recently rebooted game. It's good on that level if you just kind of know about the IP and that's it. If you're a fan of the game, it fails on the promise of what they said that they would do. Sure, there are some action set pieces that mimic the game, but the storyline is completely made up for the movie, and it's not what the fan base wanted, if that makes sense. But to the average person that doesn't know the lore and stuff, I guess it's okay for a larger audience. But I watched it, I was hugely disappointed, but Ken watched it with me and he loved it. So, but that there you go. It's like I said with these video game adaptations, until we get to the point where comic books are, where we got people that kind of know the material actually doing it, then we'll see. But at the moment, currently, like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, it's whatever the studios want to put out now. So we're kind of getting our fair share of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool film because it's 80s nostalgia, but I never really got on board with that movie because as a kid I was like, that's not He-Man. And yeah, it's a cool film of its time. But,
is it? I can't stand that film.
Well, it was meant to be fucking Cyborg 2, but
yeah, that's right. It was supposed to be Cyborg 2 originally. But yeah, I just I was a fan of the Masters of the Universe cartoon at the time, and what I got was not the He-Man I grew up with, and I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But that's where we are with these video game films, where it's essentially where we were in the 80s with comic book movies and stuff like that. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Sonic was good. Mortal Kombat 95 was good, and Silent Hill. So we'll see, man. Uncharted. Maybe it might be entertaining. Who knows? But we'll see.
Right. Okay. On to the next subject, and that is Kevin Spacey. So Kevin Spacey's back.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's my sentiments exactly. If he managed, look, if he did do something, then maybe he should pay for it. If he hasn't done something, then let him get on with it. But he clearly has done something, and if he has paid for it, then fair dues. Kevin Spacey doesn't bother me. As people like Harvey Weinstein does, but Kevin Spacey. Look, I'm not saying to give him a pass, but just leave him to do what he's doing. I've got mixed. I'm so mixed on this. I don't really know what else to say. Kevin Spacey. After you heard what you heard about him, it's like, okay, well, gotta leave that alone. He's good in Baby Driver.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, Kevin Spacey pre everything. You had him in the film; it was guaranteed to be gold at least. I mean, the guy was a great Lex Luthor in an average Superman movie. He was, he's been in quite a lot of great movies, just slaying it, completely slaying it performance-wise. Should it affect his livelihood? I don't know. He's not convicted, but then at the same time, everyone that's like put something against him either got run over by a car, committed suicide, or is dead. In some kind of way. So I don't know. Maybe he's got mob connections, but I don't know, man. He's not been tried, so we can't really say anything. He's got a
couple of cases against it that are going to go on trial. But that said,
yeah, but everyone's dying.
Yeah,
World's dying. Everyone's literally dying or getting run over or put in comas and shit, man. So it's a bit like, what the fuck is going on? And one guy even dropped his case completely because he refuses to be named. And you know what? There's been a lot of people that have worked with Spacey. And even, in England, the old Vic, I know a couple of actors and actresses that know for a fact that he has done stuff, with young males, like he has probably done far worse kind of thing. So it's just a case of, what's really weird is that he's not admitting, he's not admitting to guilt. He's not doing anything. I don't know how I feel about this. There's no denying the talent. And fair enough, cool on that director. You've got a tremendous talent for your movie. I don't know how well that movie's going to do, but put it this way: if I was making a film today, I wouldn't cast him because it would tank my movie. To be fair, you know what I mean. And I'm saying that even as a fan of his work prior. L.A. Confidential is one of my favorite movies of all time. Seven as well. But
do you know?
Yeah.
Recently, just watching LA Confidential, I used to really like it a lot. I've taken one star away from it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to split up with you over this podcast. That is like one of the greatest movies ever made.
You want to hear something funny?
I'll tell you why.
You want to hear something funny? I've had LA Confidential on my list for about 10 years. I still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, bro, you need to get on that.
I know.
Look, temper your expectations. Just because all I'm saying is that do you like detective movies?
I love them. Okay,
so you'll like it.
Yeah.
But still temper your expectations.
All right.
And
I keep that in mind.
For me, the standout is Russell Crowe in the film.
Yeah, totally. Well, that was literally his big break that led him to Gladiator.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so that's enough on Kevin. Next up is Henry Cavill as the Highlander, or as he's cast in the Highlander, much so to speak. So for me, I'm a Highlander 1 fan.
You completely skip past the Amazon looking to buy MGM.
Have we? Have I? Yes, I have. Thanks for that. So MGM, let's go back. MGM has bought now. Has bought.
Has it?
Yeah, Amazon. No. Yeah, look online.
Did they actually buy it now?
They said they might announce it Tuesday. I didn't know what they actually have. Oh, that's awesome if they have.
Does that mean all the RoboCop TV shows are going to be on Amazon?
Probably.
Cool, because I've heard some good things about some of them from Leo, so I want to check them out.
Amazon's closing. Oh wait, okay.
Yeah,
so 9 billion.
Yeah, 9 billion. So here's the thing. Here's what I know, right?
Yeah.
People at Amazon have actually valued it. They're saying that MGM is overvalued.
Really?
Because of the Bond franchise. That's the only thing. That's
so weird because they don't own it.
Huh?
That's so weird because they don't own it.
They own the distribution rights.
Yeah.
So it's actually owned by like
the Broccolis, Barbara Broccoli.
Yeah, Barbara Broccoli or something like
that.
So the reason is because the reason that Amazon are holding slow on it, I read something about it today, is because they don't have enough faith in the Bond franchise, given the current market of the world. Because Craig is signed up to do 5 movies, right? So they don't think there's a lot of space for a womanizing spy in these Bond films for James Bond, right? So they actually feel that the valuation of 9 billion should be about 5 to 6 billion as opposed to 9. But it's Bond that's upping that cost, and Amazon don't know if they're able to monetize it the way they want to.
Because she holds all the cost.
Yeah, because of how it's owned. Yeah, and because they obviously have as their contractual right to distribute it whichever way they want.
Which is theatrically, yeah.
So, like, because Bond was almost sold for 600 million to Apple, right?
No,
they made her play for it, and she turned them down.
Yeah, so whatever. Almost sold.
Oh wait, so Apple made.
Yeah, Apple made an offer.
There was a 600 million deal on the table.
Yeah,
and nobody took it, right? But Apple were willing to take over for 600 million to distribute to like be able to release it on their platform, yeah. But the thing is, Amazon doesn't feel that there's enough in there for them to monetize for their financial gain, given everything else MGM has as well, with a valuation of 9 billion. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
but basically 9 billion is an inflated evaluation, and 3 billion of that is what MGM are saying that their Bond franchise, the entire Bond franchise, is worth to them. And whilst yes, on paper to you and I it makes sense, to Amazon it doesn't, because their monetization would come from streaming services,
actually,
and how they would do it. So
let me add something to that. You're right on completely all of that, except it's not just streaming; it's actually making future Bond films as well. And they were thinking that they're not going to get the 4 extra billion out of Bond in the next 10 years, simply because Bond doesn't come out every other year. He comes out after 4 or 5 years, something like that. They're not going to make enough Bonds, and it will probably not earn enough money to fill that 4 billion
and the
gap.
way the current, and the thing is, before Sash is about to make a very valid point, but before he does that, I think you should take into account that the current market that the world is in right now against the womanizing spy, right, of James Bond, is not conducive to. I guess we'd have to see how the new Bond film does, really, truly, to kind of gauge it. But like that. Listen, the likes of you and I would absolutely enjoy seeing the Bond that we love and remember from when we were kids. I still haven't seen GoldenEye, but I have played the game a lot. The point is that, like, that's the Bond that we watched, and that's the Bond we enjoyed. That is not, unfortunately, the climate we live in. Therefore, that Bond will not sell.
I agree.
No difference. Everything's different now. I don't think, and I think Amazon are rightly saying, "Hold on a minute." And as you said, so is that it's not. I don't think that extra 3 to 4 billion is enough for them to be able to take the risk. Well, I mean, what other major massive franchise? I mean, they fucked up RoboCop. So So like,
they actually, I was reading that the actual biggest money making for MGM at the moment is like their TV shows, The Handmaid's Tale, even the Stargate makes more money, even though it has been finished and gone 20 years ago.
Do you want to know the funny thing about MGM and Stargate? So,
what about?
MGM completely gave up on the Stargate franchise, and we're like, whatever, we don't care. And then this other group called Stargate Command, right?
Yeah.
They opened up their own app where you pay £20 a year and you have full access to all of the Stargate.
Oh, I remember that. You showed it to me.
And I have it.
Yeah.
I was part of it, and I was a founding member of it, and they gave me a little badge and everything.
Yeah.
And I paid £20 a year to have access to all of Stargate, because Stargate is a fantastic TV show, by the way.
I love it too.
Absolutely fantastic TV show.
I watched it all, most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show. If you watch it from beginning to end, you know, forget season 10, that was pretty lackluster, but season 1 to 9 was great. And then the spin-off stuff was good as well, except for Universe, which was crap.
Yeah. I mean, MacGyver was in it. What else can you need? What else can you need?
MacGyver, yeah, of course, exactly. So
with humor, he was funny.
Anderson, yeah, he was hilarious. And then you've got, so the whole point of that is that MGM saw that and were like, oh wait, hold on, you guys actually have a fan base there. So they took the rights off these people again, closed down Stargate Command, and now they're like holding on to it with their chest. They're like, no, that's ours. Stargate's ours. We want to monetize that shit again. And so I said this to Sash. I was like, I can't wait. If this happens, Amazon will release all of Stargate on their platform, and that way it stops me for having to pay the £90 that I keep saying I'm not going to pay on iTunes. Because I'm so close. Every week I'm like, should I just pay for it so I could just watch it on iTunes whenever I want?
So you're waiting for the deal to go through.
Yeah, 100%. I'm waiting for Amazon to pull the trigger so they can just release that shit on Amazon Prime, and I don't have to waste £90 fucking.
Yeah, it's not only that. I mean, DVDs never lost like any what it call price. So they started at 50.
I own the DVDs. I just can't be fucked to keep getting up and put the next one in.
And I couldn't afford the fucking DVDs because it would have cost me £1,000 to get a whole damn.
No, they're cheap now. You can get it on Amazon for like £80.
All of them?
40 to 80, depending if you catch
it. Are they Blu-rays now? Because they remastered the whole show.
There are Blu-rays, and I'll have to buy those too. But the thing is, hold on. But if I get them on iTunes, I'm automatically upgraded to the best version. No matter what version I own, iTunes will give me the best version, which is why I now exclusively only buy my films on iTunes.
Nice.
Because if a 4K version comes out of a film, they will just give me that 4K version. Which is the good thing about, like, they did it with Lord of the Rings. I owned the whole Blu-ray collection. They brought the 4K version out, and then they just gave me the 4K. The 4K version is just the one that's available to me now. So, which is why iTunes, if you're going to buy films, get it on iTunes. Because you also get the extras.
Or any other platform. There's loads of other platforms you can buy it on.
Tons of them.
No. Don't listen to Joe.
I know what I'm talking about.
Joe's got a thing about iTunes. He doesn't like.
I've got a thing about all streaming media. It's fucking subpar. It's fucking subpar. And
really? No. Why do you say that? Hold on.
Oh, come on. Okay. This is a different.
You're not going to win this match, man.
I'm not trying to not win this match. I'm just curious. I want you to educate me.
Okay, so when
boil it down. Summarize it real quick.
Anything that you usually watch on a streaming site is usually
compressed.
Yeah, heavily, and it's not at its native resolution. I'm nitpicking, so it doesn't. If it looks good, fucking
Joe,
watch it.
Are you nitpicking? I never would have guessed.
I always nitpick. I fucking love it.
Okay. This will be an after podcast conversation. Go ahead, Sol. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
No. It's Sash's turn. It's been 3 hours. Come on.
3 hours. Fuck.
It literally has.
Yeah, I mean, Bond, you got to understand, James Bond is Barbara Broccoli and her brother, her stepbrother's bread and butter. I've forgotten her stepbrother's name, but they've grown up around these films. They're the gatekeepers of the Bond franchise. Her father, Chubby Broccoli, that was his name on the credits. Probably not his real name, but, you know, him and Harry Saltzman, they created Bond from Dr. No onwards, and then Saltzman quit the franchise around the Roger Moore era, leaving Chubby in charge of like the whole thing. He left it obviously to his children, you know, and both Barbara and her stepbrother, they've been writers on the films and they've been producers on the films since the Roger Moore era kind of thing. They, you know, when they decided to reboot the franchise, they were, you know, that was them. That wasn't the studio. And what I think is hilarious is that most recently, before like this new one, No Time to Die, Sony turned around to him and were giving them all these demands, and she was just like, oh, you think you own this franchise? Cool. Universal, do you want it? Laters, and jump to Universal, because that's how much power she has. She can just, because of like where MGM has been with the whole distribution thing, they distribute it, but she basically pays for it out of her own pocket, basically. So it's kind of like a George Lucas Star Wars situation here. Sure, all right. I mean, the Bond franchise, in recent years, everyone's after a piece of that pie. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really have to be part of the Amazon deal. If Amazon don't want it and they're scared of, like, you know, the future of Bond, well, you know what I mean? Fine. They don't need that mad money now. But I guarantee you this, if Barbara Broccoli took James Bond to any studio and was like, yo, you know what I mean? Who wants this? We're making a Bond film. We filmed it. Who wants to put it out there? There'd be a bidding war. You know what I mean? Because every James Bond movie since GoldenEye has been more successful since its predecessor. And that's an over 20-year winning streak. You know, when they release Bonds, funnily enough, whenever they bring a new Bond in, you'll always get the sequel like a year or two later, like very, very early on. And then because they cast a Bond for a generation, then they'll wait. You know, what happened is they'll do their contract, and then towards the end of the contract, they'll wait as long as they can, because they're in the business of staying in business with that actor, because that actor represents a brand for a generation. This is why I've always been like, they're not recasting Bond just yet. Do you know what I mean? And whenever there's all these polls going, oh, this person's the next James Bond, it's like, really, what does Barbara say? Barbara has come out recently and says James Bond will never be a woman. He will never be a black guy, you know, because he's we're staying faithful to what the books are. And she's stuck by her guns the whole way. You know what I mean? And most recently, when asked about whether they change his womanizing ways, she said, that's not the character. That is not the character. If you want a woman spy movie, she produced a woman spy movie and nobody saw it. Do you know what I mean? And she basically said, look, there are like women spy movies and, you know, all this other stuff, but the audience don't pay for that stuff. You know what I mean? Why am I going to shove it into James Bond? You know, she's the gatekeeper of that stuff, and she's protecting that because that's their bread and butter. You know what I mean? They're not they're already a very wealthy family. They're not going to fuck the golden goose for anybody. And in terms of this Amazon deal, I understand where Amazon is coming from, because they're, you know, if they invest that like $3 billion, what do they want straight away? They want Bond movies straight away, isn't it? But it's with Bond, it's an entity that, due to the contractual rights, they have no control over. You know what I mean? Everyone wants a piece of the pie, but do they really want something that they can't control over its success and failures? And that's probably what's holding up the deal. But I don't know. Either way, I'm not really worried about the Bond franchise, because it's in safe hands and always has been. And you know, fair enough, it's had a few die another day moments, but you know what I mean? They've always been consistent. You know, it's always been a consistent movie franchise. So
well, they've all consistently made more money since GoldenEye. So
yeah, exactly. Good or bad. Yeah.
And so it just shows you that there's still an appeal for it. Even if I reckon you could put Sean Connery in now, and still people will come to see it.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, no, you can't. He's dead.
Yeah, no, I mean Sean Connery era of Bond.
Oh yeah.
You can still put him in and have him be Bond, and people will still watch it, because it will be a throwback, as they'll call it, to an age far gone.
Fun fact: Barbara Broccoli's birthday is the same day as mine.
What bizarre fact?
I was just interested in what her net worth is, which is like $500 million. But it also has her date of birth, which is the same date of birth as mine. Obviously not same year. She was born in the 60s, but yeah, same day.
Nice.
Okay. Well, has everyone
on that bombshell?
On that bombshell, has everyone spoken their 2 cents on this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Don't worry, the next one for me will be super quick.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So's mine.
So Highlander.
No,
me,
is the answer to that. No.
Sure. Cool. Let me finish the sentence. Henry Cavill has been cast in Highlander, and the only reason why I'm really looking forward to this is because it's being directed by Chad Stahelski. No, David Leitch. That's one of them anyway. They know their action. Hopefully they can what the originals tried to do failed quite miserably. The first one's a good film. I don't really like the other ones. I like the TV series. I like the anime. With this, I hope they have a similar tone. I mean, you can't replace Sean Connery in those films, so I don't know how else you get. But whatever they're going with this story, I know the action is going to be good. So that's my only highlight. The fact that Henry Cavill is in the film, sure. I like Henry Cavill, but he needs to do another Superman before he does anything else. So, in my eyes, and looking forward to the film, I don't really. Whoever they get as the Highlander is face swapping to me.
Here's my response to this, and I won't say anything else after this.
Go for it.
This is it.
All right.
That's going to get me an interesting hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. What do you guys think?
I'm okay with it. I mean, Chad, when I was
Stahelski,
yeah, who's been directing John Wick's, he's doing it. That's the reason why I'm watching. I'm gonna watch. But other than that, I mean, I watched the first Highlander. After that, it just got bad to worse for me. So I'm not really that interested. But I will give it a go. I mean, just because of him.
It's got interesting mythology. I just want to see the mythology done right, because the anime almost got it right. And the first, look, it's. I think the concept's interesting. All these immortals trying to fight for the prize, cutting off each other's heads. It's fascinating. On paper, it's fascinating. And so, again, these guys are really good with action. So I'm pretty sure we'll get a good, if not anything, an entertaining action film. Satch.
I've never seen Highlander.
Cool. Let's on to the next.
Wait, you should after this ends, you should let him tell you why.
Oh no! If he hasn't seen it, then he hasn't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it, but I mean,
you need to hear.
Yeah, I'll go into Wright off screen because it's not really a thing for the podcast. But to be fair, with Highlander in terms of who's directing and stuff, well, I like the John Wick guys, so it intrigues me with the action and stuff. But I guess I guess I have to see the original, but I won't. And not because it's a bad movie, it's because there's other reasons that kind of stop me from that, which I'll tell you guys off screen.
You reckon Henry Cavill will reload his arms? For every fight.
And if there's one thing they need to keep with it, is the Queen did the theme song for Highlander. It's really good. And if they replace that theme song with anything else, instant fail.
Agreed.
Okay.
That's a reboot. It's a reboot.
Don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
Next topic. Attack the Block 2. So
is that a real thing?
Yes. After 10 years, Joe Cornish has reteamed with John Boyega to say, yes, I will do Attack the Block 2 because the people want it. Apparently, I like Attack the Block. It feels. It's urban aliens.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't like Attack the Block.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I don't like
Joe Cornish.
No, I just don't like the
black people. I'm sorry, man.
Anyway. Okay, and what if I don't? I think it's an argument to say, Joe, that you like black people even less than any other black person I know.
You
dislike black people more than any other black person I know.
If you knew some of the black people I knew, you would hate them as well.
I'm just saying, I've heard you say some shit about black people that's very akin to Chris Rock's. There are black people, and then there are N-bombs.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
That's why I was laughing, because I'm like, oh, that made me expose you.
Oh no, go for it.
No, you can edit this.
I'm not. Everything goes. Now they've got their age restrictive thing. I can't be bothered to censor anything anymore. I just put it out.
I didn't like Attack the Block because I'm not a big fan of like British set media. Does that make sense? Like set urban hood. So I like the Kingsman after he's in Rowley Estate in fucking NWA, because that's where that is. Because I go there all the time for work. Yeah, I know exactly where that estate is. It's called Rowley Way. Or I don't like. I didn't like the gangster TV show that was done by the guy who did The Raid. Mostly because
it's a bad TV show.
British people don't speak like that, but. Also the fact that the gangster TV shows, or Harry Brown, didn't really like Harry Brown either. Like don't get me wrong, I liked Harry Brown. I just didn't like the setting and surrounding it, and I don't like that Plan B guy. He's a super punchable face. You know, and Top Dog, I don't like that shit either. Just not fan. I'm not a fan of that British urban genre of TV show. I don't like it, and that's what Attack the Block was to me. I watched it and I was like, yeah, whatever. But purely because that type of entertainment doesn't stick well to me. And I guess it's probably because like I grew up in those type of environments, so I don't like to be reminded of that type of like. And I have to work in those kind of environments every day, so I'm not really a big fan of seeing that stuff that I see every day anyway. Again, in my own personal time, so yeah, it's not something that's interested me. So Attack the Block 2, like, yeah, sure. I won't care that much, to be honest. But anyway, that's me. Anyway,
anyone else?
Well, I mean, I've watched the first one. I kind of liked it, but I can't see what would they do in part 2. I mean, what really are they going to do in part 2?
Yeah, and I mean,
nothing left.
Green Alien.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The first movie was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I had a good time with it. One of the main reasons, because I had a similar idea, but my idea was completely different, like alien invasion, school kids. Yeah, but and then I saw it. I was like, well, there goes that idea, kind of thing. But I had a good time with it. I thought John Boyega was really charismatic in it. Who's the guy from Shaun of the Dead that was in it?
Doctor Who's in it?
Nick Frost.
Nick Frost was in it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But it's a movie where I'm like, didn't they say everything that needed to be said in that first film? And more importantly, it's 10 years after the original.
So was Aliens.
Yeah, so was Alien was like 7 years, but the difference is, yeah, they're no longer kids anymore.
So
I mean, they're grown.
So a whole 10 years makes a difference.
Well, the charm of that movie, for me, this is just for me, was those characters being at that age and alien shit going down in their estate, and to go back to that, you know, with them still in the estate. You know what I mean?
Are they still in this state? What is the story?
Well, I don't know, man.
I mean,
that's the big charm of it. And
still in the estate, that's realistic. Because
yeah, I just think
most people who go into the estate don't come back out.
Yeah, true. But
jeez, you're savage, man.
I just think. No, I don't want a sequel to this, man. Just leave it as a one and done movie. It was enjoyable. It played all the right notes. We don't need to go back to the well on this one.
It's just further proving that Hollywood has no new ideas.
Yeah.
Well, this is Joe Cornish's. It's British produced.
Doesn't
matter. Yeah. Joe Cornish
in Hollywood and somehow provided some funding from somebody in Hollywood. Somebody in Hollywood. It won't be just a completely UK film. You know this, and I know this. So it's it's not going to be what you want it to be. And I'm not.
I feel a sequel to this should have come out directly after the first movie, personally, because like that's just me. Because the kids would have been the same age. We could have had a follow up as of what the fuck went on and stuff. 10 years later, we're going into Independence Day resurgence kind of territory, and I saw her. Well, yeah, because like that was another alien invasion movie where a sequel did not need to be made. Yeah, sure, we wanted it because Jeff Goldblum was back in it, and when we got it, it was just a piece of turds. Like no one talks about that movie.
I mean, Roland Emmerich is not Joe Cornish. Joe Cornish is not Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, but still, you know, everyone has that one thing that they go back to, and then it just becomes a broken record. I don't know, man.
I mean, if he had, because I don't know the synopsis for what his new story is, but if he has it. Yeah. He clearly took him. Okay, if I don't, he clearly was circling something, and he clearly.
I mean, where else can you take this though?
Clearly we'll find out.
Like, more aliens attack the block. Okay.
Well, we fucked them up before. We'll do it again. Let's go.
Well, you know, like.
I mean, you just
my Good Will Hunting 2.
Dude, you just described exactly. You just described every sequel. I mean,
good. No, not really, because not every.
Look, sequel you dusty Utes. Let's go get those aliens.
I'm just saying, like, not every sequel is cookie cutter format from the first one. Like Aliens 2 is far different from the first one.
Yeah, and that's probably what he'll
Terminator 2 is far different from the first one.
I'm sticking
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm sticking up for Joe Cornish because I used to watch the Adam and Joe show.
I know, I get that. I understand you're sticking up for Joe Cornish, but you also have to understand, like, just because you're sticking up for somebody does not make a good idea make. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Put
does.
it
Put it
this.
Do you know, also, can I just point out earlier,
Yeah, good.
Sash, you made me laugh at your double negative there. You were like, I had a really similar idea, but completely different. And I was like, what? And then you're like, yeah, it wasn't going to be that. It was going to be in a school. And in my head, I just went, I wanted to interrupt you, but I didn't. But I wanted to say, so the faculty... Because that's an alien invasion movie in a school right there, bro.
No.
That's a good film. I like that film.
You know what? I'm never going to make the movie. So basically, the whole idea was it's an alien invasion movie, and obviously you got these kids at school, and like maybe school's ended, etc. And there's this kid who's like some nerd. He's getting bullied by this other guy, and on the bus and stuff. And the whole thing takes place around them, and it basically follows them two as they see this shit goes down, like crazy shit goes down, and then they team up with like an SAS soldier and shit, and then it's basically those three characters fucking shit up, basically.
So Cloverfield in the school.
Yeah, Cloverfield in the school. That was kind of like my idea, but then Attack of the Block came, and it had that same kind of vibe, that London vibe that I was after for my idea kind of thing. And I was just like, man, if I ever did that, it'd just be, it's another Attack of the Block. So I was like, yeah, but bun this idea and stuff. So fuck that. But anyway, like, I enjoyed that film. I don't think there should be a sequel personally, but hey, money talks. But we'll see. Maybe it might be amazing. I was going to say something, and I've completely lost my train of thought now. But yeah,
on that bombshell.
Yeah, can we end? I gotta take a leak.
Yeah. We're
Motherfucker.
wrapping up now. On that bombshell, this is goodbye. Anyway, this end of the Zedos Go podcast. Anyone got anything to plug? Creative Control. Creative Control.
Ken's not here. We don't have to plug that.
Anyway, Creative Control. If you want to, there's another podcast that,
like a sister podcast.
Don't say that phrase. We don't know.
There's. Good night.
You can. I tell you what. You can follow Sash on what's your Twitter and your
Sashman3 on Twitter.
Zhao.
Sal_F1 on Twitter.
Joe.
What's what?
Your Twitter.
Where can they follow you? Where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Zedos Gang.
Are you even still recording?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. You can follow me at Zedos Gang on Twitter, and there's a website you can go to, which is www.zedosgang.co.uk. There's a YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube, which you should be now. So,
are you streaming this live?
No. So like it. No, of course not.
Like, share, and subscribe.
No, just watch it. If you want to subscribe. But I'm not gonna go. I don't like goading people. It's like,
put it this way: if you fuck with us, fuck with us. If you don't, cool.
Yeah.
But glad you did or didn't enjoy. You won't see me on Creative Control for creative reasons.
That's brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
I used to be on there, but I will no longer be featuring on there. Nothing to those guys. Definitely go watch them. They're great. Just doesn't suit me. And Mr_Ovaltine Jenkins, if you want to see some random artwork that I do. But that's it.
So check me on Sashman3 on Twitter, and if you guys
said that already.
If you want to
this, man,
he needs to go to.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck you guys. I'm going.
Right, he needs to go toilet. He needs to go toilet.
The first person I asked, Sash.
Adrian's coming up right at the end. Good night.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.